तो cos फाई जो है वो अपना आ रहा है 1/√2। तो यहाँ से दोस्त फाई की वैल्यू कितनी आ जाएगी? तो यहाँ से क्या कॉमन ले सकते हैं अपन? यहाँ से कॉमन ले सकते हैं a एप्सिलॉन नॉट बाई d।
Mu naught minus mu naught is mu naught 7.5 into 10 to minus 3 or 0.0075.
Nearest multiple of 7 for 83. What will your radius be? Your radius is equal to getting the limit, finding ln alpha ka value.
Hi everyone, welcome to the session. My name is Tejashvi Raj and today we're going to discuss FLT-07 paper. Yeah. FLT-07 JEE Mains. So yeah guys, let's begin. A particle P will be in equilibrium inside a hemispherical bowl of radius 0.5 meter. एक particle P है, ये वाला particle है अपना, जो कि equilibrium में है इस hemispherical bowl में, ठीक है। और इसकी डायमेंशन से सब गिवन है कि ये 0.2 मीटर हाइट पे है बॉटम से, तो इसकी एंगुलर स्पीड बतानी है अपने को, यानी ओमेगा बताना है बेसिकली, ठीक है। तो देखो, है तो वैसे सिंपल सा ही फंडा, ठीक है। सबसे पहले अगर इस पार्टिकल P की अपन FBD बनाए अलग से, तो ये अपना पार्टिकल P पे नीचे की तरफ लगेगा mg, नॉर्मल रिएक्शन लगेगा अलोंग द सेंटर ऑफ द हेमिस्फीयर, और ये एंगल हो जाएगा आपका थीटा, ठीक है। तो अब इस नॉर्मल के हो जाएंगे दो कंपोनेंट, एक कंपोनेंट इसका आ जाएगा n cos थीटा, दूसरा कंपोनेंट आ जाएगा n sin थीटा। तो अगर पार्टिकल इक्विलिब्रियम में है तो इस पे लगने वाले सारे फोर्सेस का सम क्या होना चाहिए? 0 के बराबर होना चाहिए, राइट। तो अब देखो, अगर इन फोर्सेस को वर्टिकली और हॉरिजॉन्टल डायरेक्शन में अपन बैलेंस करें तो n sin थीटा की वैल्यू आ जाएगी आपको mg के बराबर, ठीक है, ये बात तो तय है। दूसरा, अगर बात करें n cos थीटा की, तो ये जो n cos थीटा होगा यही देगा रिक्वायर्ड सेंट्रीपिटल फोर्स, ताकि ये पार्टिकल सर्कुलर मोशन भी करता रहे और इक्विलिब्रियम में भी रहे, है ना। तो इसका मतलब n cos थीटा विल बी इक्वल टू m ओमेगा स्क्वायर r, यही होना चाहिए। बात सही है ना, ठीक है, ताकि ये इस रेडियस के 0.4 मीटर की रेडियस के सर्कल में क्या कर सके? सर्कुलर मोशन कर सके। अब अगर इन दोनों इक्वेशन को अपन डिवाइड कर दें तो n से n कैंसिल हो जाएगा, साइन बाई कॉस हो जाएगा आपका tan थीटा, और इधर आ जाएगा g बाई ओमेगा स्क्वायर r, ठीक है। तो अब देखिए, g बाई ओमेगा स्क्वायर r आने के बाद अपन क्या कर सकते हैं? अपने को चाहिए ओमेगा स्क्वायर, तो ओमेगा स्क्वायर आपका हो जाएगा g बाई tan थीटा मल्टीप्लाइड बाई r, है ना। तो g की वैल्यू तो आ गई है 10, tan थीटा क्या हो जाएगा? tan थीटा हो जाएगा 4/3, है ना। तो 4/3 हो गया आपका tan थीटा, और सॉरी tan थीटा हो जाएगा 3/4, है ना, 3/4 हो जाएगा, हाँ। तो tan थीटा हो जाएगा 3/4, तो 3 × 4 ऊपर चला गया, और r कितना है? 0.4 मीटर, यानी 4 × 10 ऐसे, ठीक है, 10 ऊपर चला गया, 4 से 4 कैंसिल हो गया, ये आ गया 100/3, किसकी वैल्यू आ गई? ओमेगा स्क्वायर की। तो अगर ओमेगा स्क्वायर की वैल्यू आ गई 100/3, तो ओमेगा की वैल्यू क्या आ जाएगी? 10/√3 रेडियन पर सेकेंड। तो 10/√3 रेडियन पर सेकेंड आ गया आपका ऑप्शन नंबर ए। सिंपल है, 10/√3 इज ऑप्शन नंबर ए। ओके, दिस इज योर आंसर, ठीक। मूविंग फॉरवर्ड, अ 10 सेंटीमीटर लॉन्ग कैपिलरी ट्यूब इज डिप्ड इन वाटर, ठीक है। द वाटर राइजेज अप टू 6 सेंटीमीटर। जब एक कैपिलरी ट्यूब को वाटर में डिप किया तो वो कैपिलरी ट्यूब में पानी 6 सेंटीमीटर तक ऊपर गया, ठीक है। कि मान लो ये अपना बकेट है, इसके अंदर अपना ऐसे पानी, और इसमें अपन ने कैपिलरी ट्यूब को डिप कर दिया, ऐसा पतला सा कैपिलरी ट्यूब। तो जब इस कैपिलरी ट्यूब को डिप किया तो पानी जो है इसमें 6 सेंटीमीटर तक ऊपर चली गई, ठीक है, ये हाइट होगी 6 सेंटीमीटर। अब बोल रहा है कि अगर इंटायर अरेंजमेंट इज पुट इन अ फ्रीली फॉलिंग एलिवेटर, तो अगर पूरे अरेंजमेंट को एक फ्रीली फॉलिंग एलिवेटर में डाल दे, फ्रीली फॉलिंग एलिवेटर मतलब उसका कॉर्ड टूट चुका है एलिवेटर का, और अब वो नीचे g एक्सेलरेशन से फ्री फॉल कर रहा है, तो द लेंथ ऑफ वाटर कॉलम इन कैपिलरी ट्यूब विल बी, तो कैपिलरी ट्यूब का वाटर कॉलम का लेंथ कितना होगा? तो देखो, ऐसा है कि जैसे ही कोई भी ऑब्जेक्ट फ्री फॉल कर रहा होता है तो उसके ग्रेविटी का इफेक्ट लगना बंद हो जाता है, या अपन ऐसा मान लेते हैं कि उस ऑब्जेक्ट पे ग्रेविटी की इफेक्ट नहीं लग रही है। तो यहाँ पर अपन क्या कर सकते हैं? व्हेन ऑब्जेक्ट इज फ्री फॉलिंग, तो नेग्लेक्टिंग द इफेक्ट ऑफ ग्रेविटी, तो जैसे ही ग्रेविटी की इफेक्ट को अपन नेग्लेक्ट करेंगे तो क्या होगा? बहुत ही सिंपल सा फंडा है, ग्रेविटी की इफेक्ट को जैसे ही आप नेग्लेक्ट करेंगे तो ग्रेविटी जो है वो इस ट्यूब पे लगेगी नहीं, ग्रेविटेशनल फोर्स इस ट्यूब पे लगनी बंद हो जाएगी, और जैसे ही ग्रेविटेशनल फोर्स इस ट्यूब पे लगनी बंद हो जाएगी तो क्या होगा? अपना जी इफेक्टिव तो 0 हो गया, जी इफेक्टिव क्या हो गया? 0। तो जो हाइट थी, जो हाइट पहुंच सकती होगी कैपिलरी ट्यूब की, वाटर की जो हाइट कैपिलरी ट्यूब में पहुंच सकती होगी वो होती है इनवर्सली प्रोपोर्शनल ऑफ जी इफेक्टिव, तो हो जाएगी इन्फिनिटी। क्या हो जाएगी? इन्फिनिटी। तो इसका मतलब अब बेसिकली मैक्सिमम हाइट जितना वो पहुंच सकता है 10 सेंटीमीटर उतना पहुंचेगा, पहुंचकर रुक जाएगा जितनी कैपिलरी ट्यूब की लंबाई है खुद की, क्योंकि जी इफेक्टिव हो गया 0, तो मैक्सिमम हाइट इंफिनिटी, इंफिनिटी मतलब जितना तक वो मैक्सिमम पहुंच सकता है, कितना पहुंच सकता है, जितना कैपिलरी ट्यूब की खुद की हाइट, तो आंसर क्या आ गया 10 सेंटीमीटर। बढ़िया सवाल था, थोड़ा घुमाऊ सवाल था, ज्यादा कुछ हैवी था नहीं, बेसिक आपको ये आइडिया बस न्यूटन लॉ ऑफ मोशन का मालूम होना चाहिए। कूल, आगे बढ़ते हैं। क्वेश्चन नंबर थर्ड, an ideal gas is heated from temperature of 300 Kelvin to temperature of 750 Kelvin at constant pressure। ठीक है, टेम्परेचर को इंक्रीज कर रहे हैं कांस्टेंट प्रेशर में, जिसकी वजह से वॉल्यूम भी इंक्रीज हो रहा है, और वॉल्यूम कितने से इंक्रीज हो रहा है 6 मीटर क्यूब से इंक्रीज हो रहा है। तो इनिशियल वॉल्यूम गैस का क्या होगा? तो देखो यार, सिंपल सा फंडा है यहाँ पर कि अगर अपन इनिशियल वॉल्यूम की बात करें तो पहले तो देखो यहाँ पर क्या हो जाएगा कि अगर प्रेशर कांस्टेंट है तो पीवी इज इक्वल टू एनआरटी के हिसाब से क्या हो जाएगा, वॉल्यूम डायरेक्टली प्रोपोर्शनल हो जाएगा टेम्परेचर के, है ना। और अगर वॉल्यूम डायरेक्टली प्रोपोर्शनल हो गया टेम्परेचर के, तो इसका मतलब V1 by T1 शुड बी इक्वल टू V2 by T2, ये हो जाएगा। क्लियर है यहाँ तक बात? ठीक है, तो मान लो V1 इज आर इनिशियल वॉल्यूम, T1 इनिशियल टेम्परेचर, V2 फाइनल वॉल्यूम, T2 फाइनल टेम्परेचर, है ना। तो V1 तो अपने को चाहिए, इसको V बोल देते हैं। T1 इनिशियल टेम्परेचर कितना था 300 केल्विन, इक्वल टू V2 कितना था भाई, V2 था अपना कितना आया था 6 मीटर क्यूब, है ना, तो ये हो जाएगा 6, और T2 कितना था भाई 750। यहाँ से आप V को सॉल्व करिएगा तो यहाँ से ये और ये 0 गया, ठीक है, यहाँ से V को सॉल्व करने पे आ जाएगा 4 मीटर क्यूब, कितना आ जाएगा 4 मीटर क्यूब। ऑप्शन ए अपना करेक्ट हो गया, समझ लो बालक। तो यहाँ पर यही फॉर्मूला लगाना था बस, आइडिया। कूल, हाँ, अनपोलराइज्ड लाइट फॉल्स on two polarizing sheets placed one after another, ठीक है। What should be the angle between pass axis of the sheets so that final transmitted light have 1/4 the intensity of incident light। तो देखो यार, ऐसा होता है कि इंटेंसिटी जैसे ही पहली पोलराइजिंग शीट से लाइट पास करेगी तो उसकी इंटेंसिटी जो पहले थी उसकी हाफ हो जाएगी, I0/2 हो जाएगी। तो I0/4 जो होगा वो किसके बराबर होगा, I0/2 cos स्क्वायर फाई के बराबर। ऐसा क्यों? क्योंकि जब दो जगह से पास कर रही है तो 1/4 हो जा रहा है ना, जब दो पोलराइजिंग शीट से पास कर रही है लाइट वेव तो उसकी इंटेंसिटी 1/4 हो जा रही है। तो पहले से पास की तो 1/2, दूसरे से पास की तो 1/4, ठीक है। तो यहाँ से देखो भाई, यहाँ से I0 से I0 कैंसिल, ये 2 बार में गया, तो cos फाई जो है वो अपना आ रहा है 1/√2। तो यहाँ से दोस्त फाई की वैल्यू कितनी आ जाएगी 45 डिग्री। कितनी आ गई फाई की वैल्यू 45 डिग्री। ऑप्शन में है ही नहीं कहीं पे, तो ऑप्शन क्या आ जाएगा, नन ऑफ दीज। नन ऑफ दीज अपना सही जवाब हो जाएगा भाई। कूल, ठीक है, यहां तक चीजें क्लियर होंगी आई होप। When a wave travels in a medium, the particle displacement are given by y is equal to a sin 2 pi bt minus cx। वेव की इक्वेशन कितनी गिवन है, y is equal to a sin 2 pi bt minus cx। ये वेव की इक्वेशन है, abc कांस्टेंट है। मैक्सिमम पार्टिकल वेलोसिटी विल बी ट्वाइस द वेव वेलोसिटी इफ। मैक्सिमम पार्टिकल वेलोसिटी गिवन है कि वेव वेलोसिटी की दुगनी है। तो मैक्सिमम पार्टिकल वेलोसिटी कितनी होती है भाई, मैक्सिमम पार्टिकल वेलोसिटी अगर वीपी मैक्स की बात करें तो वीपी मैक्स होता है ओमेगा ए के बराबर, ठीक है। और अगर वेव वेलोसिटी की बात करें तो उसका फॉर्मूला होता है ओमेगा बाई के। वी ऑल नो इट वेरी वेल, है ना। तो देखो अब सबसे पहले काम करते हैं, इस इक्वेशन को स्टडी करके वीपी मैक्स और वी ओमेगा निकालते हैं, तो उससे ए और बी और सी जो भी होगा उनके बीच का रिलेशन मिल जाएगा। तो वीपी मैक्स कितना हो जाएगा ओमेगा इंटू ए। तो देखो यहाँ पर एम्पलीट्यूड क्या लग रहा है आपको, क्या होगा ए साइन 2 पाई बीटी, है ना। तो जो एम्पलीट्यूड है वो तो मुझे ऐसा लग रहा है कि आ जाएगा अपना 2 पाई बी, है ना। ओमेगा एम्पलीट्यूड जो है अपना वो तो ए है, स्मॉल ए अपना एम्पलीट्यूड हो गया। तो चलो इसको ऑर्डर में लिखते हैं, पहले ओमेगा लिखते हैं। ओमेगा क्या हो जाएगा ओमेगा टी, नॉर्मल इक्वेशन क्या होता है ए साइन ओमेगा टी माइनस के एक्स, ये होता है ना। इससे इसको कंपेयर करो तो टी का कोफिशिएंट क्या आएगा 2 पाई अंदर मल्टीप्लाई होगा 2 पाई बी, है ना। तो ओमेगा आ गया 2 पाई बी, तो 2 पाई बी ये आ गया आपका ओमेगा, और एम्पलीट्यूड इज स्मॉल ए। तो दिस इज योर पार्टिकल की मैक्सिमम वेलोसिटी एंड दैट इज इक्वल टू ट्वाइस ऑफ ओमेगा बाई के। ओमेगा बाई के कितना है भाई, ओमेगा अगेन क्या आ गया अपना 2 पाई बी, ठीक है ना। और के आ गया भाई 2 पाई सी। बात सही, 2 पाई से 2 पाई कैंसिल आ गया भाई, ठीक है। बोलो यहां तक कोई दिक्कत किसी को? तो यहां से सी की वैल्यू क्या मिलती हुई आ रही है अपने को, तो देखो 2 पाई बी इंटू ए इज इक्वल टू ये आ जाएगा 2 बी बाई सी। 2 से 2 हो गया भाई कैंसिल, बी से बी भी हो गया कैंसिल, ठीक है। तो यहाँ से सी की वैल्यू आती हुई दिख रही है 1/पाई ए। क्या आ रही है सी की वैल्यू 1/पाई ए। सी की वैल्यू अपनी आ गई 1/पाई ए, विच इज योर ऑप्शन नंबर ए, आई गेस ऑप्शन ए। ये आपका आंसर आ गया, करेक्ट है दोस्त, ठीक है, ओके। तो बेसिकली स्टडी करनी आनी चाहिए वेव की जनरल इक्वेशन, बाकी तो सवाल हो जाता है। देखो, फाइंड मैक्सिमम एंड मिनिमम पॉसिबल काइनेटिक एनर्जी ऑफ अल्फा पार्टिकल एमिटेड इन डीके ऑफ प्लूटोनियम 238 एट रेस्ट। तो देखो, प्लूटोनियम 238 का डीके हुआ तो यूरेनियम 234 प्लस अल्फा पार्टिकल निकला। जस्ट आफ्टर डीके न्यूक्लियस ऑफ यूरेनियम मे और मे नॉट एमिट अ गामा पार्टिकल ऑफ एनर्जी 1.51 मेगा इलेक्ट्रॉन वोल्ट। तो एटॉमिक मासेस गिवन है सबकी, प्लूटोनियम की, यूरेनियम की, हीलियम की, एंड 1 MeV की वैल्यू गिवन है 930 MeV। ठीक है, तो इन चारों में से क्या सही होगा? तो देखो, सबसे पहले काम करते हैं, थीटा निकालते हैं। तो अगर थीटा निकालेंगे तो क्या हो जाएगा, 238.050 अपना प्लूटोनियम का एटॉमिक मास माइनस यूरेनियम का एटॉमिक मास कितना आ गया, 234.040 माइनस हीलियम का आ गया 4.003, ये आ गया थीटा। और इसको मल्टीप्लाई करेंगे 1 MeU से, AMU से, है ना, तो ये हो जाएगा 930 से मल्टीप्लाई। इसको जब सॉल्व करेंगे अपन, तो अगर मैं इसको सॉल्व करूं तो ये हो जाएगा अपना 6.51 मेगा इलेक्ट्रॉन वोल्ट्स, इतना आता हुआ दिख रहा है मुझे। ठीक है, तो 6.51 मेगा इलेक्ट्रॉन वोल्ट आ रहा है अपना। अब अगर मान लो कि काइनेटिक एनर्जी अल्फा पार्टिकल की निकालनी है, मैक्सिमम काइनेटिक एनर्जी अल्फा पार्टिकल की, तो वो कितना हो जाएगा, वो हो जाएगा 234/238 इंटू 6.51, जो ये आया थीटा की वैल्यू, है ना। अब जब आप इसको सॉल्व करोगे तो देखो क्या आता है, एक बार 234/238 कितना आ जाएगा, 234 डिवाइडेड बाई 238 मल्टीप्लाइड बाई 6.51, ये आ जाएगा 6.4 के बराबर। तो ये आ गया आपका 6.4 मेगा इलेक्ट्रॉन वोल्ट्स। तो 6.4 मेगा इलेक्ट्रॉन वोल्ट जो आया काइनेटिक एनर्जी, ऑप्शन ए उसके हिसाब से अपना क्या लग रहा है, बिल्कुल सही लग रहा है, राइट। तो दिस इज योर करेक्ट ऑप्शन, ऑप्शन ए। चलो एक काम करते हैं, मिनिमम काइनेटिक एनर्जी भी निकाल ही लेते हैं, एक बार चेक हो जाएगा। तो मिनिमम काइनेटिक एनर्जी कैसे निकालेंगे, काइनेटिक एनर्जी मिनिमम ये हो जाएगा 234/238 मल्टीप्लाइड बाई, अब देखो 6.51 माइनस क्या करना पड़ेगा, 1.51, है ना, क्योंकि गामा पार्टिकल कितना रिलीज हो रहा है, 1.51 मेगा इलेक्ट्रॉन वोल्ट्स। तो 6.51 माइनस 1.51 ये हो जाएगा। तो दिस विल बी इक्वल टू, अब ये कितना आएगा एक बार देख लेते हैं। तो 234 डिवाइडेड बाई 238, ठीक है, मल्टीप्लाइड बाई 6.51 1.51 5.51, तो दिस विल बी इक्वल टू, हाँ, तो ये आ जाएगा 4.92 मेगा इलेक्ट्रॉन वोल्ट्स, जो कि ऑप्शन में नहीं है, 4 मेगा इलेक्ट्रॉन वोल्ट्स है, विच इज रॉन्ग। तो ऑप्शन ए इज योर करेक्ट ऑप्शन, ऑप्शन ए इज योर करेक्ट ऑप्शन। क्लियर है ना बिल्कुल? सो दिस इज योर ऑप्शन ए। समझा? क्लियर बा? चलो बहुत बढ़िया, ठीक है, बढ़िया है, चलिए आगे बढ़ते हैं। नाउ वाइज, अब देखिए ये तो मतलब पता नहीं क्यों डाला हुआ है जेईई के टेस्ट पेपर में, बहुत ही फर्जी सवाल है, चलिए देखते हैं। वैसे आजकल ऐसे ही क्वेश्चन आते हैं फिजिक्स में, तो ठीक है। A metal plate has a work function of 6 electron volts. Light of wavelength 200 nanometer falls on the plate. ठीक है, 200 नैनोमीटर वेवलेंथ का लाइट हमने प्लेट पे फॉल इंसिडेंट करवाया, और प्लेट का वर्क फंक्शन है 6 इलेक्ट्रॉन वोल्ट, मतलब 5 की वैल्यू गिवन है। फोटो इलेक्ट्रॉन्स आर एमिटेड इन ऑल पॉसिबल डायरेक्शन, हर डायरेक्शन में फोटो इलेक्ट्रॉन्स आर बीइंग एमिटेड। एक मैग्नेटिक फील्ड है 1 टेस्ला का जो एग्जिस्ट कर रहा है पैरेलल टू द प्लेट, मतलब प्लेट के पैरेलल में 1 टेस्ला की मैग्नेटिक फील्ड एग्जिस्ट कर रही है, जैसा कि अपने को दिख रहा है। तो व्हाट विल बी द मैक्सिमम डिस्टेंस in direction perpendicular to the plate from surface reached by photo emitted electron। तो फोटो एमिटेड इलेक्ट्रॉन को मैक्सिमम डिस्टेंस कितना कवर करेंगे? तो देखो सबसे पहले तो hc/λ - 5 कितना हो जाएगा, hc/λ - 5 हो जाएगा आपका मैक्सिमम काइनेटिक एनर्जी p²/2m के बराबर। बात सही है, ठीक है। hc-5 विल बी इक्वल टू हो जाएगा p²/2m। तो यहाँ से p की वैल्यू आ जाएगी, p की वैल्यू कितनी आ जाएगी, यहाँ से p की वैल्यू आ जाएगी 2m, ठीक है। ये हो जाएगा 1240, hc को ले लो, लैम्डा आई थिंक 200 गिवन है तो 200 ले लो, माइनस वर्क फंक्शन हो गया 6, ठीक है, और इनटू 1.6 इंटू 10 की पावर -12, ये आ गया अपने स्क्वायर रूट। तो अब देखो p की वैल्यू कितनी आएगी, जरा सा कैलकुलेट कर लेते हैं, इसको समझ आ जाएंगी चीजें। और मास कितना लिया है भाई, 9 इंटू 10 की पावर -31। तो वैल्यू डालेंगे अगर, तो वैल्यू डालकर क्या आएगा देखते हैं एक बार, 1240 डिवाइडेड बाई 200 -6, ये आ जाएगा 0.2, और ये हो जाएगा थिंग्स, तो 1.6 इंटू ये जाएगा 0.32 इंटू 10 की पावर -12, और रूट से निकलेगा, ये आ जाएगा आपका ऑलमोस्ट 2 इंटू 3 इंटू 4 इंटू 10 की पावर -26, ठीक है, ये आ गया। तो अब देखो ये क्या आ जाएगा, 2.4 इंटू 10 की पावर -25, ये आ गया अपना मोमेंटम kg मीटर पर सेकेंड, है ना, 2.4 इंटू 10 की पावर -25 kg मीटर पर सेकेंड, ठीक। अब यहाँ से आर मैक्स अगर निकालें, ठीक है, तो आर मैक्स निकालेंगे तो क्या हो जाएगा, एम वी बाई क्यू बी होता है ना। एम वी कितना है, ऑलरेडी निकाल चुके हैं मोमेंटम, 2.4 इंटू 10 की पावर माइनस 25, ठीक है। अब क्यू तो अपने पूरी दुनिया को जग जाहिर है, 1.6 इंटू 10 की पावर माइनस 19 हो गया, ठीक है। और उसके बाद बी मैग्नेटिक फील्ड 1 टेस्ला है, तो ये 1 हो गया। तो इसको सॉल्व करेंगे तो 1.6 2.4 ये हो जाएगा 1.5, और ये ऊपर जाएगा तो 10 की पावर माइनस 6 बना देगा, तो 1.5 इंटू 10 की पावर माइनस 6 मीटर्स, ये आ गया आर मैक्स। तो अगर ये आर मैक्स आ गया तो जो एक्स मैक्स होगा वो क्या होगा, इसका डबल हो जाएगा, ये आ जाएगा 3 माइक्रोमीटर के बराबर, 1.5 इंटू 2 तो 3 माइक्रोमीटर, ये आ गया अपना ऑप्शन नंबर सी। दिस इज योर करेक्ट आंसर। परफेक्ट। चलेगा, ठीक। नाउ velocity versus time graph of a particle moving along in straight line is given. Distance covered by the particle between t is equal to 0 and t is equal to 10 सेकंड। तो देखो वेलोसिटी टाइम ग्राफ है, इजी होता है सबसे ज्यादा स्टडी करना वेलोसिटी टाइम ग्राफ का। अगर इसका डिस्टेंस पूछ रहा है तो इसके अंदर का जो एरिया सबटेंडेड है वो निकाल लेते हैं अपन। तो सबसे पहले तो एक रेक्टेंगल बनता हुआ दिख रहा है, तो वो हो जाएगा लेंथ इंटू ब्रेथ, तो 4 इंटू 10 प्लस ये कितना हो जाएगा, तो बेसिकली हाफ इंटू बेस इंटू हाइट, ऐसा हो जाएगा ना, हाफ इंटू बेस इंटू हाइट, है ना। तो देखो 4 इंटू 10 हो गया, प्लस 1/2 हाफ इंटू बेस हो गया अपना 4, है ना, और इंटू हाइट हो गया अपना 10, ठीक है। अब देखो उसके बाद अपने को डिस्टेंस निकालना है, ध्यान रखना इस चीज का, डिस्प्लेसमेंट नहीं निकालना। अगर डिस्प्लेसमेंट निकालना होता तो नीचे वाले ट्रायंगल के साथ नेगेटिव साइन लगाते, बट डिस्टेंस जो होता है वो डिस्प्लेसमेंट का मैग्नीट्यूड होता है, तो पूरी एरिया को ऐड करेंगे, ठीक है। यहाँ पे बच्चे गलती करते हैं, तो प्लस अगेन हाफ इंटू बेस 2 इंटू हाइट 5। क्या बात समझ आ रही है, ठीक है। तो भाई बड़ा ही सिंपल है, देखो इसको सॉल्व कर लो, तो ये आ जाएगा 40, ये आ जाएगा आपका 20, और ये आ जाएगा प्लस 5, तो ये आ जाएगा अपना 65 मीटर्स। तो ऑप्शन नंबर ए विल बी आवर आंसर, ठीक है। यहां पर बस ये ध्यान रखना था कि डिस्टेंस पूछ रहा था, कि डिस्प्लेसमेंट पूछता तो यहाँ पर नेगेटिव साइन आ जाता, बट क्योंकि डिस्टेंस पूछ रहा है तो नेगेटिव साइन का कोई है ही नहीं, क्योंकि डिस्प्लेसमेंट की मैग्नीट्यूड निकाल रहे हैं, मैग्नीट्यूड कैन नेवर बी नेगेटिव, है ना। क्वेश्चन नंबर 9, हाँ ये थोड़ा सा ढंग का सवाल है, मतलब थोड़ा पसंद आया मुझे ये सवाल, देखते क्या है। अरेंजमेंट शोन इन द फिगर, डी स्मॉल डी इज मच स्मॉलर देन कैपिटल डी, ठीक है, ओके, वेयर डी इज द डिस्टेंस ऑफ सेपरेशन ऑफ द स्लिट्स, दो स्लिट्स के बीच का डिस्टेंस ऑफ सेपरेशन है, एंड कैपिटल डी इज द डिस्टेंस बिटवीन द स्लिट्स एंड द स्क्रीन, ठीक है। सोर्स एस इज एमिटिंग मोनोक्रोमेटिक लाइट ऑफ वेवलेंथ लैम्डा, मोनोक्रोमेटिक लाइट निकल रहा है लैम्डा वेवलेंथ का, तो मिनिमम वैल्यू क्या होगी डी की डार्क फ्रिंज के लिए, यही चाहिए अपने को। तो देखो यार अगर SS1 की बात करें तो SS1 प्लस S1O, ध्यान देना, माइनस SS2 माइनस S2O, ये क्या होगा, किसके बराबर होगा, SS1 प्लस S1O माइनस SS2 माइनस S2O, ये बराबर हो जाएगा n लैम्डा बाई 2 के, बिल्कुल ना, जहां पर n कोई भी इंटीजर हो सकता है, 1, 2 कुछ भी, ठीक है। तो मिनिमम वैल्यू ऑफ डी के लिए हमें क्या करना पड़ेगा, फॉर मिनिमम वैल्यू ऑफ डी, फॉर मिनिमम वैल्यू ऑफ डी n की वैल्यू क्या होनी चाहिए, 1 होनी चाहिए, बात सही है। तो n की वैल्यू 1 होनी चाहिए, इसका मतलब क्या हो जाएगा, लैम्डा बाई 4 इज इक्वल टू अंडर रूट 1 प्लस डी स्क्वायर माइनस 1, यही होगा। तो यहां से क्या निकल सकता है अपना कि 1 प्लस डी स्क्वायर बाई 2 माइनस 1 इज इक्वल टू लैम्डा बाई 4, ठीक है। तो यहां से डी स्क्वायर की वैल्यू क्या आ जाएगी, अंडर रूट डी की वैल्यू आ जाएगी अंडर रूट लैम्डा बाई 2, तो अंडर रूट लैम्डा बाई 2 इज आवर आंसर, मिनिमम वैल्यू ऑफ डी, ऑप्शन ए। परफेक्ट, देख लो एक बार, कोई डाउट अगर इसमें, तो ऐसे डाउट होना नहीं चाहिए, मुझे लगता है इजी है, कर लोगे, सिंपल है, कोई दिक्कत तो नहीं आ रही इसमें, नहीं। चलिए आगे बढ़ते हैं। इसके बाद वाला क्वेश्चन जो है दैट इज योर क्वेश्चन नंबर 10। During an experiment with a meter bridge, the galvanometer shows a null point when the jockey is pressed at 40 cm. जब जॉकी को 40 सेंटीमीटर पे प्रेस किया तो नल पॉइंट मिला यूजिंग अ स्टैंडर्ड रेजिस्टेंस ऑफ 90 ओम, ठीक है, एज शोन इन द फिगर, ठीक है, 90 ओम का स्टैंडर्ड रेजिस्टेंस लगाया हुआ है और नल पॉइंट मिल रहा है 40 सेंटीमीटर पे, ठीक है ना। द लीस्ट काउंट ऑफ द स्केल यूज्ड इन द मीटर ब्रिज इज 1 mm, लीस्ट काउंट इज 1 mm, अननोन रेजिस्टेंस, वेरी इजी, क्या हो जाएगा, देखो R बाई 90 इज इक्वल टू क्या हो जाएगा, 40/60 हो जाएगा, ठीक है। तो यहां से R की वैल्यू कितनी आ जाएगी, और ये शून्य गया, ये आ जाएगा, R की वैल्यू आ जाएगी 60 ओम्स, ठीक है ना भाई, R की वैल्यू आ गई 60 ओम्स। अब अगर R की वैल्यू 60 ओम्स आ गई तो R बाई 90 इज इक्वल टू L अपॉन 100 माइनस L लिख सकते हैं ना। तो यहां से आ जाएगा डेल्टा R बाई R इज इक्वल टू डेल्टा L बाई L माइनस डेल्टा 100 माइनस L बाई 100 माइनस L, है ना। तो दैट इंप्लाइज डेल्टा आर इज इक्वल टू डेल्टा एल बाई एल प्लस डेल्टा एल बाई 100 माइनस एल, और ये आर इधर आ गया तो मल्टीप्लाई, ठीक है, सबसे मल्टीप्लाई हो गया होल से, ठीक है। ओके, यहां तक क्लियर है बिल्कुल। उसके बाद देखिए ये आ जाएगा डेल्टा एल 0.1/40 प्लस 0.1/60, ये हो जाएगा मल्टीप्लाइड बाई 60, तो ये आ जाएगा 0.25 ओम्स। क्या आ गया? 0.25 ओम्स। तो आर की वैल्यू 60 ओम प्लस माइनस टॉलरेंस कितना आया? 0.25 ओम्स। तो ऑप्शन सी मुझे करेक्ट लग रहा है, ऑप्शन सी करेक्ट होगा इसका, ठीक, ये एक है, ठीक है। क्लियर है, यहां तो कोई दिक्कत नहीं आ रही होगी, है ना, सॉर्टेड। चलो आगे बढ़ते हैं फिर। क्वेश्चन नंबर 11। तो देखो क्वेश्चन नंबर 11 क्या बोल रहा है, पैरेलल प्लेट कैपेसिटर है विद एरिया ए, ठीक है, हैज अ सेपरेशन डी बिटवीन द प्लेट्स, दोनों प्लेट्स के बीच का सेपरेशन गिवन है। टू डाइलेक्ट्रिक स्लैब्स ऑफ डाइलेक्ट्रिक कांस्टेंट K1 एंड K2 ऑफ सेम एरिया A/2 एंड थिकनेस D/2 आर इंसर्टेड इन द स्पेस। दो पैरेलल प्लेट कैपेसिटर के बीच में K1 और K2 डाइलेक्ट्रिक डाल दिया, A/2 एरिया का और D/2 थिकनेस का, मतलब टोटल सेपरेशन हो गया D, ठीक है। द कैपेसिटेंस ऑफ द कैपेसिटर विल बी गिवन भाई, तो इसकी इक्विवेलेंट कैपेसिटेंस क्या होगी? तो देखो सी इक्विवेलेंट क्या हो जाएगा, ऐसा समझो भाई कि है तो ये, पहले चलो मैं इसका एक बार सर्किट डायग्राम बनाता हूँ आपके सामने ना, ताकि आपको थोड़ी ज्यादा क्लैरिटी मिले। तो देखिए ये कुछ ऐसा बनेगा, एक कैपेसिटर इधर, इधर, ये ऐसे ऐसे, है ना। तो देखो ये हो जाएगा A/2, ये K1, और ये हो जाएगा D/2, ठीक है, A/2 K2, ये हो जाएगा D/2, A/2 और इनके बीच है D। तो देखो भाई C इक्विवेलेंट क्या हो जाएगा अपना, A एप्सिलॉन नॉट बाई 2 अपॉन D प्लस A एप्सिलॉन नॉट बाई D K1 K2 अपॉन K1 प्लस K2, ठीक है। तो यहां से क्या कॉमन ले सकते हैं अपन, यहां से कॉमन ले सकते हैं A एप्सिलॉन नॉट बाई D, ये हो जाएगा 1/2 प्लस K1 K2 अपॉन K1 प्लस K2। तो कौन सा ऑप्शन सही लग रहा है? ऑप्शन नंबर ए, बहुत सिंपल था, ऑप्शन ए इज योर करेक्ट आंसर। ओके कूल, आगे बढ़ते हैं। A solid disk of mass m, radius capital R, is pivoted about a horizontal axis through a piston A on its rim. It is released from rest in the shown position. What is the magnitude of acceleration of point B when AB makes an angle of 37 degree with the horizontal? तो यहां पर देखो यार, लगाना पड़ जाएगा अपने को थोड़ा वर्क एनर्जी थ्योरम, ठीक है। अप्लाइंग वर्क एनर्जी थ्योरम क्या हो जाएगा, mgr sin 37, ये किसके बराबर होगा, हाफ 3m r स्क्वायर बाई 2 इंटू ओमेगा स्क्वायर, ठीक है। तो क्या क्या कैंसिल हो रहा है भाई, m से m कैंसिल हो गया, ठीक है, एक r से एक r कैंसिल हो गया। sin 37 इज 4/5, तो ये 2 इंटू 4 हो जाएगा, इधर 4 4 16, ठीक है। sin 37 इज 3/5 आई गेस, हाँ, तो 3 से 3 कैंसिल हो जाएगा। तो यहां से ओमेगा स्क्वायर आर की जो वैल्यू आएगी वो आएगी 4g/5, ठीक। अब देखो अगर टॉर्क का इक्वेशन बनाते हैं, किसका इक्वेशन बनाते हैं, टॉर्क का इक्वेशन। तो टॉर्क का इक्वेशन बनेगा mgr cos 37 इक्वल टू 3/2 mr स्क्वायर अल्फा। तो यहां से एक r से एक r कैंसिल, m से m कैंसिल, तो अल्फा r की वैल्यू आ जाएगी 8g/50। तो देख ओमेगा स्क्वायर निकल गया, अल्फा r निकल गया, तो नेट एक्सेलरेशन निकालना तो बच्चों का खेल है। तो नेट एक्सेलरेशन निकालने के लिए क्या करना पड़ेगा, अल्फा 2r का होल स्क्वायर प्लस ओमेगा स्क्वायर 2r का होल स्क्वायर। इसको जरा सॉल्व कर ले तो ये आ जाएगा 8√13/15g। क्या आ जाएगा, 8√13/15g। तो इसका ऑप्शन नंबर बी जो है वो सही जवाब, ठीक है। ओके चलो अब चलते हैं, थोड़ा एंगुलर मोमेंटम का डायमेंशन पूछ रहा है, बहुत ही फर्जी सवाल है। एंगुलर मोमेंटम का फॉर्मूला क्या होता है, mvr, मास का डायमेंशन होता है m, वेलोसिटी का डायमेंशन होता है lt-1 एंड r इज द डिस्टेंस, इसका डायमेंशन दे जाएगा l। तीनों को मल्टीप्लाई कर तो m l की पावर 2 t की पावर -1। कौन सा ऑप्शन लग रहा है? ये ऑप्शन नंबर डी, ml2 t -1। ठीक। अ कंटेनर कंटेन्स हॉट वाटर एट 100 डिग्री सेल्सियस। एक कंटेनर है जिसमें हॉट वाटर है और वो है 100 डिग्री सेल्सियस पे, ठीक है ना। इफ इन टाइम t1 टेम्परेचर फॉल्स टू 80 डिग्री सेल्सियस एंड टाइम t2 टेम्परेचर फॉल्स टू 60 डिग्री सेल्सियस फ्रॉम 80 डिग्री सेल्सियस, तो कौन सा टाइम, एक तो टाइम लिखने का तरीका बहुत गलत है, स्मॉल टी लिखना चाहिए, क्योंकि कैपिटल टी से यूजुअली हम लोग थर्मोडायनेमिक्स में टेम्परेचर को डिनोट करते हैं, तो बच्चे को कंफ्यूजन हो सकता है अगर बच्चा ढंग से क्वेश्चन ना पढ़े तो खैर चलो, वो तो क्वेश्चन फ्रेमिंग की गलती है, बट कोई बात नहीं। देखो भाई, ऐसा है कि शुरू में टेम्परेचर 100 डिग्री सेल्सियस है, वो 80 डिग्री सेल्सियस बनता है 100 से, है ना। तो पहले केस में क्या है कि जो टेम्परेचर डिफरेंस है कंटेनर और सराउंडिंग का, वो बहुत ज्यादा है दूसरे केस के कंपैरिजन में, है ना। तो मान लो मतलब सराउंडिंग होगी 30-40 पे और टेम्परेचर अभी सिस्टम का है 100 डिग्री, तो शुरू में तो काफी डिफरेंस है टेम्परेचर ऑफ सिस्टम एंड सराउंडिंग, है ना। तो शुरू में अगर टेम्परेचर डिफरेंस काफी ज्यादा है, टेम्परेचर डिफरेंस अगर काफी ज्यादा है सिस्टम और सराउंडिंग का, ठीक है, तो रेट ऑफ हीट लॉस शुरू में क्विकर होगा, हीट की लॉस ज्यादा जल्दी होगी, क्योंकि जितना ज्यादा टेम्परेचर डिफरेंस होगा उतना ज्यादा हीट लॉस करेगी, है ना, सिस्टम सराउंडिंग को, या सराउंडिंग सिस्टम को हीट देगा, लाइक दैट इन एनी केस। तो इसका मतलब T1 टाइम तो बहुत फास्ट होगा, इसमें तो हीट लॉस होगा बहुत फास्टर रेट पे, है ना। हीट लॉस विल टेक प्लेस एट अ फास्टर रेट, विल टेक प्लेस एट अ फास्टर रेट, ठीक है। तो T1 तो डेफिनेटली T2 से छोटा होगा, तो T2 विल बी ग्रेटर देन T1, ऑप्शन नंबर सी, ठीक है। In Young's double slit experiment setup, if path difference at P and Q location on a screen is 0 and lambda by 4, okay, then ratio of intensity of light at these location, देखो path difference 0 और lambda by 4 है, ठीक है। तो डेल्टा x1, अगर पाथ डिफरेंस शुरू का P पॉइंट का 0 है तो डेल्टा x1 0 हो गया और डेल्टा फाई अपना 0 डिग्री हो गया, तो I1 हो जाएगा I0 प्लस 2 I0 cos 0 डिग्री, तो ये हो जाएगा 4 I0 के बराबर, ये I1 आ गया। दूसरा पाथ डिफरेंस लैम्डा बाई 4 का है, तो डेल्टा x2 हो जाएगा लैम्डा बाई 4 एंड डेल्टा थीटा हो जाएगा, दूसरे को थीटा मान लेते हैं, 2 पाई बाई लैम्डा, डेल्टा x होता है तो इंटू लैम्डा बाई 4, ठीक है। तो ये लैम्डा से लैम्डा कट गया, ये आ जाएगा पाई बाई 2, तो पाई बाई 2 आएगा, तो अब यहाँ पर सेम इक्वेशन अगर लगाएं इंटेंसिटी की, तो I2 हो जाएगा I0 प्लस 2 I0 कॉस ऑफ पाई बाई 2, तो ये आ जाएगा 2 I0 के बराबर। तो अब इन दोनों का जरा रेशियो देख लेते हैं, तो I1 बाई I2 इज 4 I0 बाई 2 I0, ये आ गया 2:1, ऑप्शन नंबर बी, ऑप्शन नंबर बी चलेगा, सॉर्टेड। चलो आगे बढ़ते हैं। The figure shows a uniform conducting loop ABCDA placed in uniform magnetic field perpendicular to its plane, ठीक है। Part ABC is 3/4 portion of square. Part ABC is 3/4 portion of square. ये square का 3/4 portion है जिसका length है L. Part ADC is a circular arc of radius capital R. पॉइंट A एंड C आर कनेक्टेड टू बैटरी, A और C जो है बैटरी से कनेक्टेड है, जो कि करंट सप्लाई कर रहा है I टू द सर्किट। तो मैग्नेटिक फोर्स लूप पे फील्ड की वजह से कितना लगेगा। तो देखो यार, ये क्वेश्चन देखने में तो इतना लंबा चौड़ा बना रखा है, क्वेश्चन है बहुत ही ज्यादा फर्जी। देखो दोस्त, यहाँ से करंट आएगा I, इधर करंट जाएगा मान लो I1, इधर करंट जाएगा मान लो इस लूप में I2, ठीक है। वापस से यहाँ से करंट आएगा I1, यहाँ से दौड़ते हुए करंट आएगा I2, यहाँ पे मिलेगा और यहाँ से I करंट निकल जाएगा। तो एडिशनल वायर जो है, ये दोनों वायर जो रेड वाले वायर्स, एडिशनल वायर्स के लिए अपन क्या बोलेंगे, नेट फोर्स, वो हो जाएगा फोर्स का अगर मैग्नीट्यूड निकालना चाहें तो I1 प्लस I2 इंटू BL, ठीक है। I1 प्लस I2 क्या होगा, अब I1 प्लस I2 तो कैपिटल I के ही बराबर है ना, ये हो जाएगा कैपिटल I BL, तो ऑप्शन नंबर बी, बस इतना ही था, बस इतना ही था। किरचॉफ का जंक्शन लॉ लग गया यहाँ पर, किरचॉफ जंक्शन लॉ, BIL आ जाएगा आंसर, कि किसी भी जंक्शन के पास हैसियत ही नहीं है कि वो किसी करंट को स्टोर करके अपने अंदर रख सके, तो करंट एंटरिंग द जंक्शन विल बी इक्वल टू करंट एग्जिटिंग द जंक्शन, ठीक है। क्वेश्चन नंबर 17, अ गैल्वेनोमीटर ऑफ रेजिस्टेंस 100 ओम gives full scale deflection of current of 10 की पावर -5 एम्पियर्स। द शंट रिक्वायर्ड टू कन्वर्ट इट इनटू एन एमीटर ऑफ 1 एम्पियर रेंज विल बी व्हाट, है ना। तो यार अब देखो, है तो वैसे फर्जी सवाल। IGRG जो है वो ISRS के बराबर होगा, वी नो दैट, और IS जो है वो नियरली किसके बराबर होता है, IG प्लस IS के बराबर। यहाँ से RS की वैल्यू क्या आएगी, IGRG अपॉन IS, इस इक्वेशन से देखेंगे अगर तो यहाँ यानी क्या हो जाएगा, IRG बाई IS के बराबर। तो ये आ जाएगा आपका, है ना, IRG 1001, तो 1000 बाई 10 की पावर माइनस 5, तो 10 की पावर 3, 10 की पावर माइनस 5 इन ऊपर चला जाएगा, तो 10 की पावर माइनस 3, तो 10 की पावर माइनस 3 ओम्स अपना आंसर आ गया ऑप्शन, इसीलिए बोला था फर्जी सवाल। ओके, द इलेक्ट्रिक पोटेंशियल इन अ मीडियम ऑफ डाइलेक्ट्रिक कांस्टेंट यूनिटी इज फाई, जो कि एक्स वाई जेड का फंक्शन है, ax स्क्वायर है। द टोटल चार्ज कंटेंट इन द क्यूब ऑफ डायमेंशन दिस माइनस L to L। अब देखो ये सवाल को देखकर बच्चे घबरा जाते हैं थोड़ा कि अरे 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 क्या सवाल आ गया, कुछ नहीं है। इलेक्ट्रिक पोटेंशियल को फाई से डिनोट किया है, जो कि एक्स वाई और जेड का फंक्शन है, और इसकी वैल्यू ax स्क्वायर है। तो अगर इसकी वैल्यू ax स्क्वायर है, ई की वैल्यू निकाल लेंगे अपन बहुत आराम से, डी फाई बाई डी टी करके, या डी फाई बाई डी एक्स, जो भी कर ले भाई, माइनस के साइन के साथ। तो ये हो जाएगा माइनस 2ax आई कैप, और वाई जेड में तो कुछ है नहीं कॉम्पोनेंट, है ना। तो इंटीग्रल ई डॉट डी एस, ये क्या होगा देखो, ओवर इंटायर एस, तो ये हो जाएगा 2al आई कैप माइनस एल स्क्वायर आई कैप, ये हो जाएगा, ये हो जाएगा माइनस 2al क्यूब आई कैप 1 हो गया ना, ठीक है। तो अब देख भाई, यहाँ पर से इंटीग्रल ई डॉट डी एस आ गया माइनस 2al क्यूब, है ना। तो अगर अब इंटीग्रेट करें माइनस एल से एल, एक्स की वैल्यू एल है, एक्स की वैल्यू माइनस एल है, ठीक है, ई डॉट डी एस, ठीक है, ये हो जाएगा माइनस 2al आई कैप डॉट एल स्क्वायर आई कैप, ठीक है, ये हो जाएगा माइनस 2al क्यूब, ठीक है, बोलो क्लियर है। और अगर ई डॉट डी एस अपन देखें, ये हो जाएगा x फ्रॉम S2 माइनस एल होगा, ठीक है, S2 माइनस एल, और ये हो जाएगा अगर x की वैल्यू इज इक्वल टू L, तो ये हो जाएगा 0 के बराबर। तो अगर दोनों को ऐड कर दें, टोटल जो नेट फ्लक्स आएगा वो आ जाएगा माइनस 4al क्यूब के बराबर, जो कि होना चाहिए कॉस लॉ के हिसाब से चार्ज इनक्लोज बाई एप्सिलॉन नॉट। तो यहाँ से चार्ज इनक्लोज कितना आ जाएगा, माइनस 4a एप्सिलॉन नॉट एल क्यूब, माइनस 4a एप्सिलॉन नॉट एल क्यूब, कौन सा ऑप्शन है, ऑप्शन नंबर डी। ओके, सिंपल। चलो आगे बढ़ते हैं। IV कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स ऑफ अ सोलर सेल इज ड्रॉन इन 4th क्वाड्रेंट। तो क्या होगा इसका सही जवाब, देखो सबसे पहले तो अगर इसकी सर्किट बनाए तो, सॉरी, ये ऐसा, ये अपना डिप्लीशन रीजन हो गया, और दिस विल बी योर पी साइड, दिस विल बी योर एन साइड, यहाँ से रेजिस्टर कनेक्टेड है, ठीक है, और यहाँ पर अपन ने सनलाइट को क्या करवाया है, इंसिडेंट करवाया है। ये सर्किट डायग्राम है सोलर सेल का, ठीक है। तो अगर ध्यान से देखोगे, जो पी साइड है वो हायर पोटेंशियल पे दिख रहा होगा आपको, क्योंकि क्या होगा, करंट यहाँ से ऐसे निकलेगी और आई करंट, और ये ऐसे जाएगी पी साइड से एन साइड। तो इसका मतलब पी साइड हायर पोटेंशियल पे है और एन साइड किस पे, लोअर पोटेंशियल। पी साइड है हायर पोटेंशियल एंड करंट इन डायोड फ्लोज फ्रॉम एन टू पी। ये गलत है क्या, सही है बताओ। या सो वी गॉट दिस दैट पी साइड इज एट हायर पोटेंशियल, करंट इन डायोड फ्लो फ्रॉम एन टू पी, एन से पी की तरफ जाएगा करंट, इस तरीके से। ऑप्शन नंबर बी इज करेक्ट, ठीक है। चलो आगे बढ़ते हैं, क्वेश्चन नंबर 20। Two identical discs initially at rest are in contact on a table. A third disc of same mass but of double radius strikes them symmetrically and itself comes to rest after impact. तो कोफिशिएंट ऑफ रेस्टिट्यूशन क्या होगा? देखो भाई, क्वेश्चन में 2-3 चीजें अपने को ध्यान में रखनी है कि पहले तो इसमें बेसिक कोलिजन का कंसेप्ट लग रहा है ना, तो अपने को सबसे पहले तो दिमाग में पिक्चर चला लेना है कि बेसिकली कंसेप्ट बोल क्या रहा है। अपने को सबसे पहले दिमाग में अपने को पिक्चर चलना चाहिए कि ये कंसेप्ट अपने को बोलना क्या चाह रहा है, कोलिजन किस तरीके से हो रही है ना। ये अपने लिए बहुत जरूरी है समझना। तो देखो यार, अगर मैं ऐसी बात करूं, इसकी डायग्राम को बनाऊं, तो इसका डायग्राम कुछ इस तरीके का बनेगा कि मान लो ये एक डिस्क हो गया, ये दूसरा डिस्क हो गया, इनको कांटेक्ट में ले आता हूं मैं, थोड़ी डायग्राम मेरी गड़बड़ी बनती है हमेशा, ठीक है। तो ये आ गए कांटेक्ट में, एंड ये अपना टेबल हो गया ऐसा, ठीक है। और एक थर्ड डिस्क है सेम मास का बट रेडियस डबल है। रेडियस डबल होने का मतलब क्या हुआ कि ये कुछ इतना बड़ा सा होगा डिस्क और ये हो जाएगा इसका सेंटर, है ना। तो अब ये डिस्क जा रही है और इस तरीके से इन दोनों डिस्क को कोलाइड करेगी, ठीक है। तो इस प्रोसेस ऑफ कोलिजन में क्या होगा, इस प्रोसेस ऑफ कोलिजन में क्या होगा, कैसे चीजें बैठेंगी, हमें ये निकालना है, ठीक है। तो देखो, सबसे पहली बात तो मैंने जैसा आपको बताया कि डायग्राम इज वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। सबसे पहले हमारे दिमाग में चीजों का डायग्राम छप जाना चाहिए कि डायग्राम में कैसे चीजें बताई गई हैं, ठीक है। अब उसके बाद अपना सॉल्व, मतलब इसको सॉल्व करना इज वेरी इजी। ध्यान से देखो, अगर यहाँ पर तो जो साइन थीटा होगा वो 1/3 होगा। साइन थीटा क्या हो जाएगा, 1/3। तो अगर साइन थीटा 1/3 हो गया तो कॉस थीटा क्या हो जाएगा, √8/3 हो जाएगा ना। कॉस थीटा क्या हो जाएगा, √8/3। अब आप पूछोगे सर साइन थीटा 1/3 कैसे हुआ, आपके दिमाग में ये सवाल आ सकता है कि सर साइन थीटा 1/3 हुआ तो हुआ कैसे। तो देख भाई, ये मान ले इससे जाके टकराया, चल मैं नेक्स्ट स्लाइड में इसका थोड़ा सा डायग्राम बनाता हूं कि ये कोलिजन के बाद क्या करेगा। तो देख, ये एक डिस्क, उसके नीचे ये दूसरा छोटू सा डिस्क, ठीक है। और ये बड़ा वाला डिस्क जो है ये जाकर अब इससे टकराएगा कुछ इस तरीके से, ठीक है। तो देखो, एक तो लाइन ऑफ एक्शन कोलिजन का ये हो गया इस वाले डिस्क पे, दूसरा लाइन ऑफ एक्शन ऐसा हो गया ये वाले डिस्क पे, ठीक है। और यहां पर मान लो वेलोसिटी v दे दी, यहां पर वेलोसिटी v दे दी, ये एंगल हो गया थीटा, ये एंगल भी हो जाएगा थीटा, ठीक है। ये डिस्टेंस r, ठीक है ना। और अब ये वाला एंगल भी क्या होगा, थीटा, क्योंकि कॉरस्पॉन्डिंग एंगल्स। और ये अगर 2r था और ये r था तो ये पूरा का पूरा डिस्टेंस मिलाकर हो जाएगा 3r। समझ रहे हो। तो यहां से तुम्हें समझ आ गई होंगी चीजें कि कैसे मैं बता पा रहा हूं कि cos थीटा जो है वो sin थीटा जो है 1/3 हो जाएगी, क्योंकि sin थीटा हो जाएगा r/3r, तो वो जाएगा 1/3 और उससे cos थीटा निकाल लेना पाइथागोरस थ्योरम से, इज वेरी इजी, √8/3, है ना, √8/3। तो अगर लीनियर मोमेंटम कंजर्वेशन लगाएं तो शुरू में मान लो mu क्या हो जाएगा, 2mv cos थीटा के बराबर। शुरू में तो देखो इनिशियल मोमेंटम सिर्फ और सिर्फ बड़े वाले डिस्क के पास था, mu इज इक्वल टू 2mv cos थीटा हो गया, ठीक है। तो यहां से v की वैल्यू कितनी, u की वैल्यू कितनी आ जाएगी, cos थीटा आपने को पता है √8/3 है, तो यहां से u की वैल्यू आ जाएगी 2v, क्योंकि m से m कैंसिल हो गया, 2v √8/3, है ना। तो रेस्टिट्यूशन क्या होगा, रेस्टिट्यूशन हो जाएगा v/u cos थीटा के बराबर, तो ये आ जाएगा v/u cos थीटा यानी 9/16 के बराबर। तो 9/16 अपने ऑप्शन में दिख रहा है क्या अपने को, ऑप्शन नंबर। तो इस तरीके से इन क्वेश्चंस को कोलिजन, इसे मैंने बोला पहले डायग्राम बनाना इज वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, ठीक है। चलो क्वेश्चन नंबर 21 पे चलते हैं। क्वेश्चन नंबर 20 अपन ने देख लिया, 3 वेव्स, तीनों वेव की इक्वेशन गिवन है, y1 y2 y3 आर सुपर इम्पोज्ड, ओके, मैक्सिमम डिस्प्लेसमेंट ऑफ मीडियम पार्टिकल फ्रॉम द मीन पोजीशन। तो देख भाई, रिजल्टेंट वेव का इक्वेशन होता है y1 + y2 + y3, है ना। ये क्या हो जाएगा, 2a sin kx - ओमेगा t माइनस a sin kx + ओमेगा t माइनस माइनस ये हो जाएगा प्लस, तो ये हो जाएगा, और इसको ऐसे लिख सकते हैं ना, माइनस है तो ये इसको ऐसे लिख देंगे a sin kx + ओमेगा t - पाई। तो ये हो जाएगा, देखिए 2a sin kx - ओमेगा t, और ये जाएगा -2a, यहाँ पे माइनस साइन ही होगा, माइनस, ये हो जाएगा -2a sin kx + ओमेगा t। तो यहाँ से 4a की वैल्यू आ रही है 12 mm, कितनी आ रही है 4a की वैल्यू, 12 mm आ रही है। तो आंसर क्या आ जाएगा, मैक्सिमम डिस्प्लेसमेंट इज 12। क्या आ गया आंसर, मैक्सिमम डिस्प्लेसमेंट आ गया 12। इजी, ये तो कुछ नहीं था, बेसिक था। चलो आगे बढ़ते हैं थोड़ा। क्वेश्चन नंबर 22, डिटरमाइन द रेशियो ऑफ रेजिस्टेंस RY/RX of the chain from A to B as shown in the figure for two current directions, RX from A to B, A से B, RY B से A है। रेजिस्टेंस ऑफ R1 is 30 ohms, R2 is 60 ohms, डायोड इज आइडियल, राउंड ऑफ करना है। देखो, तो अगर A से B की बात करें सबसे पहले, फ्रॉम A to B, तो फ्रॉम A to B क्या हो जाएगा, अगर डायग्राम बनाए तो ये अपना 30 ओम, ये भी अपना 30 ओम, ये आ गया 60 ओम, ये आ गया 60 ओम, और ये ऐसे। तो यहां पर पॉइंट A, यहां पर पॉइंट B, ठीक है। अब अगर थोड़ा सा इसको रीअरेंज कर दें तो ये आ जाएगा पॉइंट A, ध्यान देना सर्किट पे, ये आ गया अपना 30 ओम, ये तो 10 का 10 रहेगा, इस 30 ओम को भी अपन टच नहीं करेंगे। ये 60 ओम और 60 ओम ये दोनों पैरेलल में है, तो इन दोनों को एक साथ इस तरीके से लिख देते हैं। ये अपना 60 ओम हो गया और यहाँ पर एक और आ गया 60 ओम, तो ये दोनों आ गए पैरेलल में। अब यहाँ से आर ए बी कैसे निकलेगा देखो, 60 इंटू 30 डिवाइडेड बाई 60 प्लस 30, ये आ जाएगा 20 ओम्स के बराबर, क्योंकि 180 बाई 90 20 ओम्स। ये आ गया आर ए बी, जब हम ए से बी जा रहे थे तब। क्लियर? नेक्स्ट चलते हैं बी से ए के सर्किट डायग्राम। अब अगर बी से ए जाएंगे तो ध्यान देना, चलो मैं इसको स्लाइड को थोड़ा डुप्लीकेट कर देता हूं ताकि अपने पास सामने में ही सर्किट रहे। देखते हैं, आ जाओ। देखो बी से ए में क्या होगा, यहां पर हो जाएगा पॉइंट ए ऐसे, इधर आ गया 60 ओम्स, इधर भी आ गया 60 ओम्स, इधर आ गया 30 ओम्स और इधर आ गया 30 ओम्स। दिस इज पॉइंट बी, दिस इज पॉइंट ए, 60 ओम्स 60 ओम्स 30 ओम्स 30 ओम्स। ठीक है, अब इसको थोड़ा सा अगर और कर दें, ये ऐसे, ये ऐसे, this is your point A, this is your point B, this is 60 ohms, this is 90 ohms, this is 30 ohms। तो RBA ध्यान से देखना, ये हो जाएगा 90 इंटू 30 डिवाइडेड बाई 90 प्लस 30, 90 और 30 पैरेलल में और उसके साथ 60 सीरीज में, तो प्लस 60 कर दें तो ये आ जाएगा 270 बाई 120 प्लस 60। तो लेट मी चेक, ये आ गया 82.5 ohms, 82.5 ohms आ गया अपना आर बी ए। तो आर बी ए और आर ए बी का अगर रेशियो निकालें, आर ए बी ए और आर ए बी का रेशियो, तो क्या आ जाएगा, आर बी अभी आया 82.5, आर ए बी कितना आया था, 20 आया था ना, हाँ, तो ये आ गया 20। तो इसकी वैल्यू नियरली 4 के बराबर होगी, राउंड ऑफ करना है तो आंसर क्या आ गया 4, नियरली 4 के बराबर होगी ना, राउंड ऑफ करना है तो आंसर क्या आ जाएगा। ओके ठीक है, तो क्वेश्चन नंबर 22 वी हैव क्लियर्ड। क्वेश्चन नंबर 23, सर्किट के सवाल ढंग के हैं, मतलब पसंद आया मुझे, सर्किट के सारे सवाल अच्छे हैं, है ना। तो अब देखो सेल इज आइडियल, ठीक है, ईएमएफ कितना है उसका 15 वोल्ट, हाउ मच इज ईएमएफ 15 वोल्ट और ईच रेजिस्टेंस इज 3 ओम्स, है ना। ईएमएफ 15 वोल्ट है और रेजिस्टेंस इज 3 ओम्स, तो पोटेंशियल डिफरेंस क्या होगा स्टेडी स्टेट में कैपेसिटर के अक्रॉस। तो सबसे पहले तो देखो इसमें करंट का डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन अगर देखें तो मान लो बैटरी से आई करंट निकला, तो अब यहां पर जाएगा मान लो 2I/3, ठीक है, और यहां पर जाएगा I/3, ठीक है ना। तो अब यहां पर अगेन I/3, तो इधर भी अपना जाएगा I/3 और I/3 और 2I/3 मिलाकर यहां पर आ गया I, है ना। तो ध्यान से देखो तो 15 इज इक्वल टू क्या आ जाएगा 4 इंटू 2I/3, 4 इंटू 2I/3, ठीक है, प्लस 3I और यहां से फिर I की वैल्यू आ जाएगी 3 एम्पियर। तो ध्यान से देखो अगर, तो VA माइनस, अगर एक पॉइंट को A बोल दें, मान लो इस पॉइंट को अपन A बोल दें और इस पॉइंट को अपन B बोल दें, है ना, तो VA माइनस I माइनस 3I इज इक्वल टू क्या हो जाएगा VB। तो VA माइनस VB की वैल्यू कितनी आ गई 4I और I कितना था 3, तो ये कितना आ जाएगा 12 वोल्ट्स। तो आंसर क्या आ गया आपका 12 वोल्ट्स। ये चाहिए था ना, पोटेंशियल डिफरेंस अक्रॉस कैपेसिटर, आ गया, सिंपल है, इजी, ठीक है। A railway wagon in shape of a cuboid with its top face open of mass 5 into 10 की power 3 kg coast at an initial velocity of 1.2 meter per second, okay, without friction on a railway track. Rain falls vertically downward into the wagon. What change then occurred in the kinetic energy when it has collected 10 की power 3 किलोग्राम of water? खैर सवाल बहुत ही वाहियात है, ठीक है, कोई ऐसा हेवी सवाल नहीं है, क्वेश्चन की लैंग्वेज में अटक सकते हैं आप। देखिए कोई भी एक्सटर्नल फोर्स नहीं है हॉरिजॉन्टल डायरेक्शन में, अगर हॉरिजॉन्टल डायरेक्शन की बात करें, हॉरिजॉन्टल डायरेक्शन कोई भी एक्सटर्नल फोर्स लग रहा है क्या, क्वेश्चन को पढ़ते ही समझ आ गया होगा, नहीं। अगर मोमेंटम कंजर्वेशन लगा दें हॉरिजॉन्टल डायरेक्शन में तो क्या होगा 5 इंटू 10 की पावर 3 इंटू 1.2, ठीक है, इज इक्वल टू क्या हो जाएगा 5 प्लस 1 इंटू 10 की पावर 3 इंटू वी। यहाँ से वी की वैल्यू क्या आएगी, ध्यान से देखो, अगर हो जाएगा 6 इंटू 10 की पावर 3, 6 इंटू 10 की पावर 3, तो वी की वैल्यू आ जाएगी 1 मीटर पर सेकेंड, ठीक है। तो इनिशियल काइनेटिक एनर्जी कितनी निकालेंगे, कैसे निकालेंगे, इनिशियल काइनेटिक एनर्जी हो जाएगी हाफ इंटू एम इंटू वी स्क्वायर विच वॉज 1.2 का स्क्वायर। एक सेकेंड, फाइनल काइनेटिक एनर्जी आ जाएगी हाफ इंटू एम इंटू 1 का स्क्वायर। अब इन दोनों में अगर चेंज निकालना हो तो पहले इन दोनों को कैलकुलेट करना पड़ेगा, तो 2.5 इंटू 1.2 का 2.24, और ये आ जाएगा, देखो तो काइनेटिक एनर्जी इनिशियल अगर मैं देखूं, काइनेटिक एनर्जी इनिशियल अगर मैं कैलकुलेटर से चेक करूं एक बार, तो ये आ जाएगा 5/2, 2.5 इंटू 1.2 का स्क्वायर, ये आ जाएगा 3.6 इंटू 10 की पावर 3 जूल्स, और ये आ जाएगा 3 इंटू 10 की पावर 3 जूल्स। तो बहुत सिंपल हो गया, 600 जूल का डिफरेंस आ गया ना, 3600 माइनस 3000 कितना आ गया, डेल्टा काइनेटिक एनर्जी 600 जूल, 600 जूल का डिफरेंस आ गया, ठीक है। तो आंसर क्या आ गया, चेंज इन काइनेटिक एनर्जी पूछ रहा था ना, 600 जूल्स। जूल्स को नहीं लिखते इंटीजर टाइप में, ठीक है, मेरी आदत है थोड़ी फिजिक्स में नंबर के साथ यूनिट लिखने की, उसके बिना लिखना थोड़ा वियर्ड लगता है। ओके डन। क्वेश्चन नंबर 25, an electric current is flowing through a circular coil of radius r, ठीक है, the ratio of magnetic field at the center of the coil and that at a distance 2 root 2r from the center of the coil। तो देखो डिस्टेंस x इज इक्वल टू आ गया 2 रूट 2r, तो सेंटर पे और एक्सिस पे क्या हो जाएगा 1 प्लस एक्स स्क्वायर बाई आर स्क्वायर की पावर 3/2, यानी ये हो जाएगा 1 प्लस 2 रूट 2r अपॉन आर स्क्वायर की पावर 3/2, तो 9 की पावर 3/2 which is equal to 27, simple, done है। Okay everyone, so this is all about our test discussion, that's it.
Hi everyone, welcome to this session in which we shall discuss in detail the chemistry section of this question paper. Let's start with question number 1. Which of the following is an incorrect statement? Half-life of second order reaction decreases with increase in concentration of reactant. Yes, because for second order reaction, half-life is 1 upon rate constant and initial concentration. Half-life of first order reaction is independent of the concentration of reactant. Yes, because half-life is ln2 divided by rate constant. There is no concentration term. The unit of rate constant for a zero order reaction is same as the unit of the rate of reaction. Yes, because rate of reaction is equal to rate constant, right? Because the concentration term is 0. The unit of frequency factor in Arrhenius equation is same as that of unit of half-life of reaction. That is incorrect, right? Because as per Arrhenius equation, rate constant is equal to Arrhenius factor e raised to the power minus e by RT. So whatever is the unit of rate constant for that reaction, that will be the unit of Arrhenius factor. And we know that the rate constant has the unit of the rate of reaction only in case of zero order reaction, not in any other case. So this is the incorrect statement and hence the correct answer. Moving to the next question. A set of solutions is prepared by using 180 gram of water as solvent. So mass of solvent is fixed and 10 gram of different solute, that is also fixed. The relative lowering of vapor pressure. So please remember that relative lowering of vapor pressure is equal to mole fraction of the non-volatile solute. Mole fraction is directly proportional to number of moles, which means that relative lowering of vapor pressure is directly proportional to the number of moles of solute. Now we know that number of moles is mass upon molar mass. So RLVP, relative lowering of vapor pressure, we can say that it is inversely proportional to the molar mass of solute, right? So the molar masses are given A, B, C as 100, 200 and 10,000. Since C has highest molecular mass, it will have the minimum relative lowering of vapor pressure. That itself gives you the correct answer as option A. Moving to the next question, a certain metal when irradiated by light, this emits twice the kinetic energy, which means that K1 is twice of K2. Now we know that kinetic energy as per the Einstein's photoelectric equation is h nu 1 minus h nu naught. Why? Because they've asked threshold frequency. So this would be twice of h nu 2 minus h nu naught. We can cancel out Planck's constant. This is nu 1 minus nu naught is equal to 2 nu naught, nu 2 minus 2 nu naught. If you rearrange this equation, 2 nu naught minus nu naught is nu naught, and nu naught now it becomes 2 nu 2 minus nu 1. So you can substitute the value. Nu 2 is given to be 2 into 10 to the power 16 hertz, and nu 1 is given to be 3.2 into 10 to the power 16 hertz. When you work this out, the correct answer will come out to be 8 into 10 raised to the power 15 hertz. Moving to the next question. KMnO4 reacts with Ki in weakly basic medium to form iodine and manganese dioxide when 250 ml of Ki reacts with 250 ml of KMnO4. Okay, so in this case, actually the amounts of both the reactants are given. So first we need to find out which is the limiting reactant. That we can easily do by finding out the number of milli equivalents, right? So for KMnO4, it goes from a state of +7 to +4. So the N factor is 3. Right, so the N factor is 3, and in case of Ki, it goes from a state of -1 to 0, so the N factor is 1, right? So milli equivalents of Ki would be here number of moles, right, into N factor. Number of millimoles here is 250 multiplied by 0.1, and N factor is also 1, of course, so it is 25 milli equivalents, and milli equivalents of KMnO4 would be the number of millimoles, which would be molarity 0.02 multiplied by 250, and this would be multiplied by the N factor, which is 3, because manganese is going from +7 to +4, right? So you can see that the milliequivalents of KMnO4 that are coming out to be in this reaction is 50, right? So since KMnO4 has fewer milliequivalents, this is a limiting reactant. Now we know that in any reaction, the milliequivalents of all these substances are equal. That's what law of chemical equivalence says. So if milliequivalents of KMnO4 is 15, the milliequivalents of iodine will also be 15. So that is the milliequivalents of iodine. Now, what is the N factor of iodine? The N factor of iodine is 2, because iodine molecule is formed by 2 iodine atoms. So number of moles of iodine that will be, formed, it would be 15 divided by 2, and because it is milli, we have to convert it into 10 to the -3, right? So this is 7.5 into 10 to the -3, or 0.0075. That is the correct answer to this question. The term invert sugar refers to an equivalent mixture of D-glucose and D-fructose. A very simple, straightforward question, because sucrose is a disaccharide consisting of alpha D-glucose and beta D-fructose, right? Moving to the next question. Identify the alkyne in the following sequence of reactions. So we will do it retro, right? If ethylene or ethene reacts in vapor process, right? So it gives us acetaldehyde. And if acetaldehyde is formed upon ozonolysis, right, it being the only product, then the starting alkene must be this one, because it will give acetaldehyde as the only product, right? Now this alkene is forming upon the catalytic hydrogenation in presence of Lindlar's catalyst. So the alkyne, the corresponding alkyne must be this molecule, which is like butene. So the correct answer to this question is option A. Moving to the next question, the IUPAC name of the following compound. So in this question, please remember that we will give priority to the principal functional group, the one which comes first in the alphabetical order, so which is aldehyde here. So the carbon to which aldehyde group is joined is numbered 1, and then we will follow the lowest locants rule, the substituents in the lowest possible positions. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now you know the rule, all the substituents are written in the alphabetical order. So this is nitro, this is hydroxymethyl, this is amino. So the alphabetical order would be 5 amino, 4 hydroxymethyl, 2 nitrobenzaldehyde. Please note that benzaldehyde is an IUPAC accepted name. The systematic IUPAC name is benzene carbaldehyde, but it is a lengthy name, so IUPAC has accepted benzaldehyde as another alternative name also, right? Moving to the next question, which is very easy actually. The test for nitrogen relies on the formation of cyanide. So if there is no carbon, cyanide will not be formed. That's why hydrozinium chloride, NH2 and H2HCl, will not respond to this test. Moving to the next question, Cu2 plus in water is more stable than Cu plus. Yes, this is a factual question from DNF block elements. And the reason behind this is that the hydration enthalpy, which is directly proportional to charge to radius ratio, right? It is much more negative than that of Q plus ion, of course, because of the higher charge. Cu2 plus ion has higher charge and lower radius, because of which it has higher hydration enthalpy, which more than compensates for the second ionization enthalpy. So yes, both assertion and reason are correct, and R is the correct explanation of the assertion. Moving to the next question, among the following, the correct statement is, right? So between ammonia and phosphine, we know that ammonia is a better electron donor. It's a better Lewis base. As we move down the group, the Lewis basic strength of these hydrides in p block elements decreases, and the reason is the directional nature, right? Reason is electron density and directional nature. So the correct answer here is option C, right? Because in case of ammonia, the lone pair lies in sp3 hybrid orbital. Being a hybrid orbital, it is more directional, but in case of phosphine, the lone pair rests in s orbital, which is spherical and non-directional, and hence we know that directional orbitals form stronger covalent bonds. Moving to the next question, question number 11, the conductivity measurement of a coordination compound shows it dissociates into 3 ions. So we are basically getting 3 ions, and from the options you can figure out that the anion, the counter ion is chloride, right? So 2 particles are these chloride ions, right? And the third ion is the coordination entity, cation. Cobalt is in third oxidation state, so that means that one option that makes sense is this one, right? Because it dissociates into 3 particles like this, right? And the IUPAC name of this compound would be pentamine, chlorido, cobalt, third, and chloride, right? So that would be the correct answer in this case. Moving to the next question. Mark out the incorrect option regarding Cannizzaro reaction. Yes, in Cannizzaro reaction, the aldehyde which does not have enolizable hydrogen, alpha hydrogen, they participate. So this is correct. The 3 types of Cannizzaro reactions like intermolecular, intramolecular, and cross, they're examples of disproportionation. Actually, the crossed Cannizzaro reaction, right? So crossed Cannizzaro reaction does not, it's not an example of, disproportionation reaction. For example, if I'm taking formaldehyde and I'm taking benzaldehyde, right? So we know that the more reactive molecule undergoes oxidation. So formaldehyde is oxidized to formic acid or formatine, whereas benzaldehyde is reduced to benzyl alcohol, right? So this is a redox reaction, but not disproportionation, because it is not the same molecule that is undergoing oxidation reduction. Formaldehyde and benzaldehyde, 2 different molecules, right? So this is not disproportionation reaction. So that is the correct option. Remaining 2 are correct, right, by virtue of the mechanism. And yes, under normal conditions, Cannizzaro reaction is second order in the aldehyde and first order in the base. So the correct answer is option B. Moving to the next question, question number 13. Which of the following arrangements, the order, it's not correct. So the correct answer to this is option B, right? For ionic size, the order is correct. We know that anions are larger in case of isoelectronic species, and cations become smaller with increase in cationic charge, right? So aluminum has highest charge, so effectively the charge is high, it's small. But in case of nitrogen and oxygen, actually nitrogen has higher first ionization enthalpy because of its half-filled 2p subshell, which is stable. But oxygen has 2p4 configuration. After losing 1 electron, then oxygen gains a stable configuration, right? Increasing electron gain enthalpy, yes, chlorine has the highest value, not fluorine, because of the small size of fluorine, and metallic radius increases down the group, so there is an exception in that. Moving to the next question, question number 14. Phenols are weaker acids unless they have like nitro groups at orthone pair position, then their acidities become significant and comparable to carboxylic acids. But otherwise, phenol is a significantly weaker acid than carboxylic acid. We know that electron withdrawing groups increase acidity, and out of NO2 and Cn, NO2 is more powerful electron withdrawing group. So weakest acid is first one, right? And the strongest acid is second one. So that makes our answer as option C, right? So compound C is the most acidic one, then third cyanide, then fourth methyl, which is donating, and then first compound is the least acidic. Moving to the next question, question number 15, the correct order of dipole moment. So we know that in case of water, the dipole moment is maximum around 1.85 dpi, because both the bond dipoles, they actually add up, right? Methane has 0 dipole moment, so actually methane should be at the end, right? So there are 2 candidates for this one. Water should have highest dipole moment and methane should have minimum. Now NH3 and NF3 presents an interesting case. Actually, in case of NF3, the bond dipoles are in opposite direction to that of the dipole because of the lone pair, right? So this is in this direction, and the NF bond dipoles are towards fluorine, right? So they actually partially cancel out, because of which NF3 has lower dipole moment than ammonia, right? So the correct answer here is option D, methane, then NF3. Ammonia has higher dipole moment because all the dipole moments, individual dipole moments, they actually add up, leading to an increased value. All right. Moving to the next question, question number 16. Which of the following reagents given below would accomplish the following transformation? So basically, you have to replace this bromine with OH, and the correct answer in this case is option D, because NaNH2 is a strong base. It affects elimination, leading to the formation of propene. And then this is our oxymercuration, demercuration, right? The addition of water as per Markovnikov addition, right? Markovnikov rule. So this is the major product in this case, right? The first option would lead to the formation of anti-Markovnikov addition, that is propanol. In the second case, again, the following product will not be formed. In the third case, HBr will not react with that. Okay, so the desired product will not be formed. Moving to the next question, consider the following sequence of reactions, right? So if you react this compound with SOCl2, the COH group would be replaced by COCl. And if you react it with AlCl3, that forms an acylium ion, a carbocation, right? And we know that there is a benzene ring nearby. So a ring closure is a very good choice here, actually, right? So we can see that this is the carbocation that is formed upon interaction of the acid chloride and thionyl chloride, SOCl2, right? Then there is a CH2 group, and then there is a benzene ring, right? So yes, there is an electrophilic substitution reaction. Friedel-Crafts acylation, to be precise, which attacks here, and this ring closes, right? And then if we react the molecule thus produced with zinc amalgam and HCl, which is Clemmensen reduction, so this keto group gets reduced to, again, CH2. So we actually have this compound, right? Tricyclic compound, which has 2 benzene and a cyclohexane sandwiched, right? So the correct answer is option D. Moving to the next question, which is very simple. There is a compound, it reacts with benzene sulfonyl chloride, which is Hinsberg reagent, to give something which is insoluble in alkali. So we know that it is a secondary amines, right? It is a secondary amines which lose the only hydrogen they have, to when they react with benzene sulfonyl chloride, and then they produce product which is insoluble in alkali. So the correct answer is option A. Moving to the next question. Question number 19. So here we are given the concentrations of chloride and chromate ion, and we are supposed to find out which one precipitates first, right? Which salt. So we have to find out the concentration of the cation required for the precipitation of these salts, right? So for AgCl, the KSP is equal to the product of the concentration of silver and chloride. So the silver ion concentration required for the precipitation, required to initiate precipitation of AgCl is 1.7 into 10 to minus 10 divided by chloride concentration is 0.1. So this comes out to be 1.7 into 10 to minus 9 molar, which is actually very low. In case of silver chromate, we can see that the KSP's concentration of silver is square, right, is equal to 1.9 into 10 to minus 12 divided by the chromate concentration, which is 10 to minus 3. Right, and from here you can see that the concentration of silver required is 1.9 into 10 raised to the power minus 9. That is under root. Okay, and we can rewrite this as 19 into 10 to minus 10. You do not have to solve this question beyond this, right? Because you see here it is something into 10 raised to the power minus 5. The order is important, right? Not the magnitude. This one. So yes, the silver concentration required to precipitate AgCl is 10 to minus 9, which is much lower than the silver ion concentration required to precipitate 10 to minus 5, like Ag2CrO4. So the correct answer in this case is option C. AgCl will precipitate first, as the amount of silver needed to precipitate, low. Moving to the next question, question number 20. Resistance of 0.2 molar solution is given, and the kappa is also given. Then for 0.5 molar resistance is given. We have to find out the molar conductance of 0.5 molar solution in terms in the unit of Siemens meter square mole inverse. So please remember that the formula for molar conductance, if it is to be calculated in meter square, the unit of length to be meter, right? Then the formula is kappa divided by 1000 multiplied by concentration. So we need to find out kappa actually, and concentration is given 0.5. Now, how do you find out kappa? We know that G star is equal to resistance into kappa, right? The conductivity cell, which is used to measure resistance, its cell constant is equal to the product of resistance and kappa, which is independent of the concentration of the solution, which is filled in the cell. So we can say that R1 kappa 1 is equal to R2 kappa 2. The resistance in kappa for 0.2 molar solution should be equal to resistance into kappa for 0.5 molar solution. For 0.2 molar solution, resistance is 50 and kappa is 1.4. For 0.5 molar solution, resistance is 240 and kappa you can calculate from here. And then we can substitute this value. You can check that this is 50 into 1.4 divided by 280 into 1000 into 0.5. So when you work out this value, you will get 5 into 10 raised to the power minus 4, right? You will directly get the answer in this unit. Coming to the next question. In the following monobromination reaction, the number of possible chiral products is, right? So we are taking 1 mole of the enantiomerically pure mixture, which means this chiral carbon has the configuration as indicated in the structure, right? We are taking bromine 1 mole at high temperature, which is free radical bromination. That means one of the hydrogen atoms in this molecule is going to be replaced by the bromine atom. If we draw the molecule like this in an easy to understand way, then we can clearly see that there is already a chiral carbon in this molecule, which is this one, and it has a fixed configuration. You can figure out it would be either R or S, right? The configuration of the chiral carbon. Now, if I replace another one of the hydrogen atom by bromine, if you replace this hydrogen, one of these 3 hydrogen by bromine, then you would end up getting CH2Br. That means this chirality would remain, right? Chirality will not be lost because this carbon would still be bonded to hydrogen, bromine, bromomethyl, and propyl. So one chiral product you get from here. If you replace this hydrogen by bromine, you realize the chirality is lost because now this carbon is joined to 2 bromine atoms. If you replace this hydrogen by bromine, then again there is a generation of new chiral carbon, right? This one. Why? Because this carbon is now bonded to 1 hydrogen. 1 hydrogen has been replaced by bromine, 1 ethyl, and another one is CH3CHBr. Right? So now there are 2 chiral products. Why 2 chiral product? Because this chiral carbon has fixed configuration and this chiral carbon can either be R or S. So we are getting a pair of diastereomers. If you replace this hydrogen by bromine, that is where you need to be a little careful, right? Because 2 isomers would arise, but one would have plane of symmetry, right? You can see this, right? One would have plane of symmetry. So one of the products would be achiral, only one of them will be chiral. So, fourth product. And finally, if you replace this hydrogen by bromine, the chirality of this carbon is retained, leading to the formation of fifth chiral product. So the total number of chiral products is 5. Moving to the next question, question number 22, which is indeed an easy question, just a matter of little calculation. So we know that delta G naught, which is delta H naught minus T delta S naught, is equal to minus 2.303 RT log K. So it's very simple, guys. Just substitute the values. Enthalpy is given to be minus 54.07, or I should just write minus 54070. Okay, and then minus temperature is 298 multiplied by entropy is 10. Okay, minus 2.303, value of R is 8.314 into temperature is 298 into log K. All right, so yes, this value is given. It is minus 5705 into log to the base 10 of the equilibrium constant, and this you can work out. It is minus 54070 and minus 2980. When you add this, you will realize that it is actually minus 57050. You can cancel negative sign, and this would actually come out to be 10. So the correct answer is 10. Log K is 10. Moving to the next question, the total number of cyclic isomers possible for a hydrocarbon with molecular formula C4H6. In this case, you have to find out the degree of unsaturation of the given hydrocarbon. So it is C4H6. The number of hydrogen atom possible for 4 carbon is 10, which is 10 N-butane. But this molecule has 6 hydrogen atom, which means there is a deficiency of 4 hydrogen atom, or degree of unsaturation is 2. But they have restricted that the product must be cyclic. That means it should have at least one ring. So that leaves us with a freedom of 1 degree of unsaturation. So let's start with the smallest ring, which is 3-membered, right? So another degree of unsaturation, I can either complete through a ring or a pi bond. Let's first start with a pi bond. We can put a pi bond here that will satisfy both the degree of unsaturation and the 4th carbon. We can change the position of this carbon, this pi bond. We can put it here, or we can also put it here. So these are, this. Then we can expand the ring to, consider cyclobutene. We put 1 pi bond here, or we can actually, instead of, putting a pi bond, we can form a bicyclo compound, because they have said cyclic. They did not mention that we cannot take a compound with 2 rings, right? So I guess, yes, this is the total number of possibilities for this molecular formula under the given conditions, that is 5. Question number 24. Okay, so first, please check in such cases whenever a question is based on a reaction and a reaction is given, please ensure that the reaction is balanced. In this case, yes, it is. And they have given the volume of oxygen, they're asking the mass of sodium chlorate. So definitely, as per the given balanced equation, we can say that number of moles of sodium chlorate would be equal to the number of moles of oxygen, because they are in a ratio of 1:1. Number of moles of sodium chlorate is mass upon molar mass. Mass will be our answer. Molar mass you can calculate. Sodium is 23, chlorine is 35.5, and 3 oxygen is 48. So if you add up this, you will get to be 106.5. Now, as regards the number of moles of oxygen, this can easily be calculated using the ideal gas equation. So number of moles is PV by RT. Pressure is 1 atm, volume is 492, divided by the value of R is 0.082, multiplied by temperature is 300. So you just do this calculation and you will get your answer, which will come out to be 2130 gram. Right? So the correct answer to this one is 2130. Moving to the last question of this paper, at a certain temperature, equilibrium constant is 16, and we are taking 1 mole each of the 4 species present in the system. So in cases where where all the reactants and products, where every single species involved in a chemical equilibrium is given in the reaction, please first calculate the value of the reaction quotient to figure out in which direction the net reaction will go. Right. So here we will apply our beloved ICE method. Right, so they have given 1 mole each of the 4 species, which makes the reaction quotient to be 1, right? But the equilibrium constant is 16. So this is a case of QC less than KC. So we know that when reaction quotient has a lower value than the equilibrium constant, net reaction occurs in the forward direction, which means that the amount of reactants will decrease with time. So let's call it minus X. And the amount of products will increase, that will be plus X, right? So at equilibrium, this is 1 minus X, 1 minus X. This is 1 plus X and 1 plus X. So you don't need to bother about the volume, etc., because there is no change in the number of particles in this reaction. Both sides have 2 particles each. Let's write the equilibrium constant. You can see that equilibrium constant is product upon reactants, right? So this is 1 plus x square and 1 minus x square, which is 16. Taking square root, in this case, we will take the positive value. That is what will make sense. So this is 4, right? So now you can calculate, you can work out, then x will come out to be 3 by 5, you know. And then they have asked what is the percentage of number of moles of NO2. So mole percent of NO2 would of course be the number of moles of NO2, which is 1 minus x, which is 1 minus 3 by 5 divided by total number of moles. As I said, there's no change in the number of particles, so the total number of moles will remain 4, right, at any stage of the reaction, multiplied by 100. So if you work out this, you will get the correct answer will come out to be 10, right, as it will be 2 divided by 20 into 100. So that would be 2 into 100 divided by 4. So you can do this calculation. So 5 minus 3 is 2. This is 5 into 4 into 100. So this is 200 divided by 20. The correct answer is coming out to be 10, right? So yes, that's all in this solution. Thank you very much for joining. Have a nice day.
So we'll be quickly going through the questions, the basic logic which has to be used, basic idea, which are the easy questions, which are the difficult questions which you should have attempted. We're discussing a bit on this paper. Okay. So yes, let's start off with the very first question. Extremely simple, straightforward logic-based question. You have been asked to find the remainder when 6 power 83 plus 8 power 83 is divided by 49. It's a very simple question. So 49 is basically, this is your 7 squared, right? So we are going to think about creating a 7 square in this 6 power 83 and 8 power 83 wala term. How can we do that? 6, I can write it as 7 minus 1 power 83 plus, I can write it as 1 plus 7 power 83. Now over here, 7, so 7 minus 1 jo hai, we don't want this. We prefer 1 plus x power n, 1 minus x power n ka format, right? So what I will do is I'll write this as minus of 1 minus 7 power 83 plus 1 plus 7 power 83. Now in this expansion, I know how do you open this up? NC0 basically 83C0, then minus 83C1 into 7, then 83C2 into 7 square, so on and so forth. So basically the important terms here are this 83C0 minus 83C1, that is 83 into 7 power 1, plus 83C2 into 7 square, then 7 cube, 7 power 4, 7 power 49, 7 power 83. I can say over here that all of those terms are basically a multiple of 7 square. So I'll just write it as 7 square into some constant k. Okay. Similarly, over here, what will I get? 1 plus 83 into 7 plus 7 square into some other constant we will use m. Okay. Opening this out, 1 minus 1 and plus 1 gets cancelled out. What you are left off with is minus 83 into 7 plus 83 into 7. That is 2 into 83 into 7. And then you are left off with over here plus 7 square k, 7 square m. Let's write it as 7 square k plus 7 square m only. Achha, now what I will do is this part that I have, right? 14, basically 2 into 7 into 83. I try to get a 7 square from here also. How can I get this? Nearest multiple. So 7 I already have. Nearest multiple of 7 for 83. I know 84 is a multiple of 7, right? So what I will do is I'll write this 83 as 84, which is 12 into 7, minus 1k form. So what do we have? We have 2 into 7 into 7 into 12 minus 2 into 7 plus 7 square k plus 7 square m. So basically, over here I have a 7 square. Over here I have a 7 square. Over here I have a 7 square. The only term that is left off now is minus 14. And minus 14 I cannot say is the remainder. How will I convert this into the proper remainder form? I will subtract and add a 35, which would make this minus 49 plus 35. Multiple of 7, club all of those multiples of 7 squared together. This 35 is the poor guy left out, which is your remainder for this question, option C. Okay? It's a very simple, basic question where you're trying to take as many 7 square, 49 outside as possible. Whatever is left off, that will directly be your remainder. Okay? Moving on, it's an easy question. Everyone should have done this one. Let's have a look at the next one. So you have a circle. It passes through this point 4, 2 and 0, 2. Okay, 0, 2. Over here we have 4, 2. And the center lies on this line 3x plus 2y. So center is somewhere over here. Center is said to lie on this line. The center is said to lie on this line. 3x plus 2y plus 2 equals to 0. Very well. And then you have been asked, you have been told over here to find the length of the chord whose midpoint is 1, 2. Okay, so there's a chord somewhere 1, 2. This 1, 2 also lies somewhere over here only. there's a chord for which 1, 2 is the midpoint. So it will be something like this. So you need to find the length of this chord is the question. Okay. All right. So first things first, we need to get the center and the radius for the circle, right? How can I get that? No, I'll use a simple logic over here. Can I say that this line 0, 2, 4, 2, the chord that I have between 0, 2 and 4, 2, its midpoint is nothing but 2, 2, and that is going to be perpendicular. The midpoint of the chord will move perpendicular and pass through the center over here, right? So now also I know that 0, 2 and 4, 2, that's a horizontal line, right? Slope equal to 0. So if I have a line perpendicular to it, basically it is a vertical line. And on the vertical lines, we know that the x coordinates remain the same. So the x coordinate of the center will be 2. If the x coordinate of the center is 2, what will be the y coordinate? I can simply say 6 plus 2y plus 2 is equal to 0, which gives you y equals to minus 4. So what is the center? The center is 2, minus 4. If this is the center, what will your radius be? Your radius is equal to, find the distance between any two of them, that's 2 square plus 2 minus of minus 4, that is 6 square, that is equal to root of 40. So the radius is equal to root of 40. Now how do I get the length of your chord with the midpoint 1, 2? Straightforward, length of chord we have to find. The center is 2, minus 4. The radius is equal to root of 40 over here. What is the distance between the center and the midpoint 1, 2 given over here? That distance I can say is equal to root of 2 minus 1 ka square, 1 square plus 36 over here, right? Yeah, plus 36 over here. That is root of 37. So this distance is root of 37. So what will the base ka length be? So that is going to be root of 40 square minus root of 40 square. Basically, let's call this distance as L. So I can say L is equal to root of root 40 square, that is 40, minus root 37 ka square, that is 37. So L is equal to root 3. So what is the entire chord ka length? That will be equal to 2 root 3. Option B will be the answer. Okay. So diagram. Geometry based any question you have, diagram is the utmost important thing. If you're able to draw the diagram well, you can very easily solve the question as well. Okay. So yes, length will be, the length of the chord is going to be 2 root 3 over here. Okay. Chala. So moving on, root 3. Here we have another question. The slope of a tangent to this curve. Okay, so we know that the tangent wala part is kind of deleted, but this is less of a tangent wala question. This is more of a differential equation ka question with just a slight use. So tangent, at least everyone should know what is the slope of the tangent is dy by dx. That's the only use case over here. This much it can come very well. Okay, so you've been told that dy by dx is equal to 2x plus 1. So I can say dy is equal to 2x plus 1 into dx. Integrating gives you y equals to 2x square by 2, which is x square plus x plus the constant of integration. You have been told that this curve passes through the point 1, 2. Very well. 2 equals to 1 plus c. C will be equal to 0. So we have got the c equal to 0. So what's the curve? The curve is y equals to x square plus x. So y equal to x square plus x. The curve looks something like this. So minus 1 and 0 are the two roots. So it looks something like this. Now you need to find the region bound between the curve, the x-axis, and the line x equals to 1. And the line x equals to 1. So this is the area that you have to find over here. Can I directly say that the area is integral 0 to 1? What is the upper curve over here? The upper curve is x square plus x. Lower curve is basically 0 itself over here. So what do you get? You get x cube upon 3 plus x square by 2 from 0 to 1. Just substitute 1. 0 pe to it's anyway 0. So 1 by 3 plus 1 by 2, that's equal to 5 by 6. Option A will be the answer for this question. Okay? Option A will be the answer for this question. Direct, very simple, basic logic wala question. Okay? Again, another very easy question. First 3 questions, all 3 of them should be doable, simple questions. Okay? But moving on, you've been asked to find the complex number such that modulus z minus 1 upon z plus 2 iota equals to 1. Guys, everyone should know this. Modulus z minus iota equals to modulus z plus 2 iota. What this means is, it's a collection of points for which the distance from this point z minus iota, basically the distance from the complex number from 1, 0, 1. The distance from 0, 1, and this is what? Z minus of minus 2 iota. So basically this is the distance from 0, minus 2. So we're looking for the perpendicular bisector of these 2 points. What is that going to be? The midpoint is basically 0, minus 1 by 2. So this equation over here is going to be y equals to minus 1 by 2. Okay? So we've got the value of y over here as what? Minus 1 by 2. Now another condition is modulus z is said to be equals to 5 by 2. So I can say root of x square plus y square, which is 1 by 4, that's equal to 5 by 2. So x square will be equal to what? It is 25 by 4 minus 1 by 4. That's x square equals to 6. 25 minus 1, 24 by 4. X square will be equal to 6 over here. So what do we have to find now? Now we have to find 2 times magnitude of z plus modulus of z plus 3 iota. I can say this is 2 times root of x square plus y plus 3 ka whole square. That's 2 times root of 6 plus y minus 3 minus 1 by 2. What is that? That is 5 by 2 ka whole square. So basically 25 by 2, 25 by 4 over here. Okay, this is the expression that you have. So what do you have? Multiply 24 plus 25, that's 49 by 4. So that will give you 7 by 2 multiplied by 2, that's equal to 7. Option C will be the answer for this question. Okay, pretty simple, straightforward, sir. Direct basic knowledge of complex number geometry is all that is needed for this question. Okay, everyone, hope the idea is clear. Moving on. So we have a function f of x which is mod of 1 minus 2x. Okay, then the set of points where sine inverse of f of mod x by 2 is non-differentiable. Okay, so over here now sine inverse of x jo hai, it's a continuous and differentiable function. So basically if there are points where the domain of sine inverse is changing its definition, basically f of mod x by 2 is changing the definition or creating big changes, at those points sine inverse will be non-differentiable. So we have to basically look for the nature of f of mod x by 2. What does f of mod x by 2 look like? So f of mod x by 2 will be basically mod of 1 minus 2 into mod of x by 2. So mod 2 is mod 2, that I can cancel it out. Basically 1 minus, so basically what you have is sine inverse of 1 minus mod x. This is the function that you have. So looking for the graph, let's draw the graph of mod of 1 minus mod x. How will we start? We start with the graph of mod x. You start with the graph of mod x. Then what is minus mod x? Minus mod x will flip. I'll get a graph which is present below the x-axis. Then you add 1 into this minus mod x. So 1 minus mod x jo hai, will look like this. And then you take a mod on this. So negative values get flipped over and your final graph will look something like this. Over here, over here, over here, and over here. So this is basically what the final graph looks like. So I can see very well over here that my function is actually changing the definition at quite a few points. My function is absolutely changing the definition at quite a few points over here. And these are all the points basically where I can say that my function sine inverse will also be not differentiable. My sine inverse will also be not differentiable at all of those points over here. Okay, everyone, is the idea clear? So that's the basic funda that we have as far as this question is concerned. So basically, like this region is going to be 1 minus x. After that, what will happen? It is going to flip over here, giving you x plus 1 value, and then so on and so forth. You're keeping on flipping the graph over here, flipping the function over here. Then you have, I believe, x minus 1, and then finally 1 plus x ka format over here. So x minus 1 ka format over here. So what happens over here is I can see that the function is changing itself. So even sine inverse of that 1 minus x, x plus 1, those values are also going to flip accordingly. At all of those points, these values will flip, meaning that sine inverse will also be not differentiable at each and every single one of those points. It will also be not differentiable at each and every single one of those points. That's the core idea we have over here. Okay, everyone, I hope the idea is clear for all of you. So let's move on. So this would be, I think, minus 1 minus x. Okay. So let's now take a look at the next one. So which all points is it not differentiable? So this is 1, minus 1, this is 0 and 1. So all 3 points, 0, 1 and minus 1, the function is not differentiable. We can say this. So now we have another question. Determinant of B is given to you as 1. Then 2a plus b is equal to b transpose minus a transpose. You need to find determinant of a plus b. So in all of these questions, the idea is finding some relation between a and b. So how can we do that? Let's take a transpose on both the sides. You get 2a transpose plus b transpose equals to b transpose ka transpose, which is b, minus a transpose ka transpose, which is a over here. Okay? And now if you add these two expressions, now let's add these two expressions. What will you get on adding these two expressions? They go b transpose cancels out. B and b gets cancelled out. Minus a, send it to the left side, that will become 3a. 2a transpose, send it to the right side, that will become minus 3 times a transpose. So it gives me a relation that A जो है it is equal to minus A transpose. Can I say this, everyone? A is equal to minus A transpose. So now let's use this result into the original condition of 2A plus B equals to B transpose minus A transpose. Over here, can I replace this A minus of A transpose with A, giving me what condition? Giving me a condition on the lines of 2A plus B is equal to, what will I get? B transpose plus A, right? B transpose plus A. So then one of the A will get cancelled out, and what we have gotten is A plus B is equal to B transpose. Yes. We have got A plus B is equal to B transpose, which means A plus B का modulus, determinant जो है, that is going to be equal to determinant of B transpose. Transpose का determinant is same as the original matrix का determinant. That's determinant of B, which we know is equal to 1. Hence the answer option C. Hence the answer option C for this one. Okay, everybody? Hope the idea is clear. This is another easy question. What do we have here? You have two circles, C1 and C2. Okay, two circles, C1 and other circles, C2. Let's consider them not to be touching, just to ensure that there is no assumption we are making. They are meeting at the 2 points, 1, 2 and 2, 1. Okay, this is 1, 2. Let's call this 2, 1. This is point A. This is point E. Then you have been told that it is touching a line. The two circles are touching this line. 4x minus 2y equals to 9. Okay, there is a line. Tangent line. So we have a line over here, and it is touching the circle at the point B and D respectively over here. All right, very well. Now you have been asked to find a point C such that the quadrilateral ABCD is a parallelogram. Okay, so we need to find a point C. It will lie somewhere over here, such that this ABCD is a parallelogram is the question. All right, very well. Now what I will do is I can use first of all the property that the two circles का जो radical axis है, I know that the radical axis bisects the common tangent. Radical axis bisects the common tangent over here. I know this as a matter of fact. So now we know that in a parallelogram the diagonals bisect one another, which means over here this line passing through A, this is going to be a diagonal, meaning that the other point C has to lie somewhere over here. The other point C has to lie on this diagonal itself. So now I've got some info कि भाई I have this point C which is lying on this, and then I have created this parallelogram over here basically. Now I created this parallelogram over here. What is the condition? Acha, what is the question? Acha, coordinate of C we need to find. Okay, let's assume the coordinates to be some A comma B. Let's assume the coordinate to be A comma B. So first steps first. Now what is this line ka equation? 1, 2, 2, 1. I can say that equation of line is x plus y equal to 3. By pure observation we can say x plus y equal to 3 is the equation of this line. So if x plus y is equal to 3, A comma B lies on this line, I can say that A plus B is equal to 3. Okay, this is condition number 1. Are any options eliminated? Option, oh very well, A and D are eliminated with this. One more option, if we would have gotten an elimination directly, we'd have gotten the answer. Okay, nonetheless, so two options are eliminated. Now the next condition is, we know this yellow line, the common tangent is 4x minus 2y equals to 9. So I know that the midpoint of AC will lie on this second diagonal between BD. So can I say over here that the midpoint, which is A plus 1 by 2 comma B plus 2 by 2, will lie on 4x minus 2y equals to 9 over here. So what is the condition I will get? 4 into A plus 1 by 2, so that basically 2 into A plus 1, minus 2 into B plus 2 by 2, that is minus B plus 2, that's equal to 9. So basically you have 2A plus 2 minus 2 gets cancelled out, minus B equals to 9. So you add the two conditions, you get 3A equals to 12, A equals to 4, automatically B will become minus 1. Hence option B, 4 comma minus 1 will be the answer for this question. Hence option B, 4 comma minus 1 will be the answer over here. Okay, just very basic property application and simple logic is all that you have to do over here. Okay, everyone, hope the idea is clear. Moving on, what do we have next? So guys, this should be x1, x2 and x3 are the roots. Okay, x1, x2, x3 are the three real solutions of this equation. X power 2 ln x minus 1 plus e power 1 by 9 equals to 1 plus e power 1 by 9 into x power ln x minus 1 by 2. None of them are equal to unity. What is the value of x1, x2, x3? Okay, what is the value of x1, x2, x3? Where ln x is log base e and e is the Napier's constant. Okay. Alrighty. So first things first over here. We have been told that 1 is not to be considered as a solution. Apart from 1, the three other real solutions we have to find. Okay. Now is x power ln x minus 0.5. Can you see that? And this x power 2 ln x minus 1. Can I say this is nothing but ln x minus 0.5 multiplied by 2? Basically x power ln x minus 0.5 का whole square का format है ना. So if I substitute x power ln x minus 0.5 as t, I will get t square plus e power 1 by 9 is equal to 1 plus e power 1 by 9 multiplied by t. Meaning I have t square minus 1 plus 1 by 9 into t plus e power 1 by 9 equals to 0. I can factorize this out as t minus 1 into t minus e power 1 by 9 equals to 0. Meaning that I'm getting two values of t equals to 1 and t equals to e power 1 by 9. Guys, don't say that 1 by 9 is not possible. That's incorrect. Why? Because x is not 1. T2 is x power ln x minus half. That can be anything. That can still be anything, right? Okay. So now we have got this expression. Two values of t we have got. Let's substitute the value of t as x power ln x minus 1 by 2. This is equal to one value we have got is 1 and another value we have got is e power 1 by 9. Right? These are the two values of t that we have gotten. Perfect. So let's take log on both sides. So I'll get ln x power ln x minus 1 by 2. That will get multiplied. So basically I'll get a format of ln x minus 1 by 2 into ln x. This is equal to ln 1, which is equal to 0. So basically I have two options. Either ln x is equal to 0 or ln x is equal to 1 by 2. Now this is not allowed, right? X equal to 1 is not allowed. So we are rejecting that. Another value is ln x equals to 1 by 2, which means x is equal to e power 1 by 2. So let's call this the first root x1. Very well. We have got one root. Now let's focus on the second expression. X power ln x minus 1 by 2 is e power 1 by 9. Here if you take log, you'll get ln x minus 1 by 2 into ln x. This is equal to 1 upon 9, right? Ln of e power 1 by 9 is 1 upon 9 over here. Now looking at this, you might be tempted to think, oh, here though I don't see basically any possibility over here to get the answer, right? But then if you slightly rearrange this, I have ln x ka square minus 1 by 2 ln x minus 1 upon 9 equals to 0. So as a quadratic equation, can I say over here, the two possibilities that I will get is ln x1 plus ln x2 will be equal to, sorry, x1, x2 we have already used, right? I can say basically x1 we have used, x2 plus x3 will be equal to minus of minus plus 1 by 2 and ln x2 into ln x3, this is equal to minus 1 by 9. Now this one, we don't really need a lot, but this one right here, I'm quite happy with this one. Why? Because we know that ln a plus ln b, we can write that as ln of ab, right? ln x1 x3 is equal to e 1 by 2, which means x1 x3 kya ho gaya? That is equal to e power 1 by 2. Sorry, x2 x3. So what is x1 into x2 into x3 equal to? That is e power 1 by 2 multiplied by e power 1 by 2, which is equal to e power 1 e. Therefore, the product of all of the roots, all of the real roots will, except for equal to 1, will be option A, E as the answer for this question. Okay, everyone? Is the idea clear? This is the basic funda over here. E will be the answer. All right, pretty simple, basic manipulation wala question. Moving on, what do we have here now? So PQRS is a square which is inscribed in a triangle with the vertices. A is given to you as 0, 0, B is given to you as 3, 0, and C is given to you as 2, 1. Okay, basically it looks something like this. Let's draw the triangle. You have A point 0, 0, you have a B point 3, 0, and you have C point somewhere over here 2, 1, slightly over here. C point 2, 1. Now you have been told that you have described a square inside this triangle. You have described a square inside this triangle where PQ lie on the side AB. You have R which lies on the side BC and S which lies on the side AC. So PQRS over here. The center of this square PQRS, basically point of intersection of the diagonals, is what you have to find over here. Okay, very well. Now let's assume that the center of let's assume that the side of this square is some A unit. Okay, and P point ka coordinate, let me assume as P, 0. I want to use minimum variables as possible. I try to use just these two variables, P, 0, and the side length is A. So if this P is P, 0, can I say Q will be P plus A, 0, basically A units towards right. R will be P plus A, A units up, P plus A, A. And S will be P, A. S will be P comma A over here. Now what do you have to do? Now the question is more or less done. I can say that P comma A lies on this line AC. What is the equation of this line AC over here? Can I say that this line is basically equal to 0, 0, right? 0, 0 से pass हो रहा है 2, 1, 2, 1. So slope is equal to directly 1 by 2. I can say y equals to x by 2 is the equation of this line. P comma A lies on this y equal to x plus 2, which means A is equal to P by 2. Then BC line ka equation, can I say BC line 2, 1, 3, 0, it is x plus y equals to 3. And P plus A comma A lies on this line, which means P plus A is equal to 3. That's 2A. I can say that 2A is equal to P, which means P plus P, 2P will be equal to 3, giving you P equals to 3 by 2, and therefore A equals to 3 by 4. Now what do you have to find? You have been asked to find the center. So basically any one ka midpoint you have to find. You need to find the midpoint of any one, either PR ka midpoint or SQ ka midpoint. You can find any one. So let's find the midpoint of PR. So what is that going to be? P plus A by 2 comma A by 2. What is 2P? 2P is equal to 3. 3 plus 3 by 4, that's equal to 15 by 4. 15 by 4 divided by 2, that's 15 by 8, comma A, which is 3 by 4 divided by 2 will be 3 by 8. So 15 by 8, 3 by 8, do we have an option? Yes. Option B, 15 by 8, comma 3 by 8 will be the answer for this question. Okay, all of you, is the basic idea clear? So all that we have to do over here is just assume the point. So important funda over here is we have used minimum variables as possible. Okay, na? So the entire logic is you should try to use as little variables as possible, because if you use more variables, more equations, the solving becomes much more tedious. This is much better this way. Okay. So moving on, what do we have now? So you have to find the integral of minus pi by 4 to pi by 4, pi minus 4 theta into tan theta upon 1 minus tan theta. Okay, so anyways, the first step very much looks like that pi minus 4 theta. I don't want a constant and a variable over there. We'll try to eliminate that. How can we do that? We need to create an x over here. So I will go for a substitution of that pi, such a substitution such that pi minus 4 theta becomes just a simple constant x. So what can I say? I can go for the substitution theta is equal to pi by 4. I need to cancel. So minus pi by 4 and plus x ke form. Okay, we'll go for this substitution over here. 4x, x by 4 also I can do, but I don't want to unnecessarily change the dx and d theta value. I'll go for theta equal to pi by 4 plus x, simple as that. So now what will you get? Your limits will now change. So x is equal to theta minus pi by 4 over here. So lower limit becomes minus pi by 2, upper limit becomes 0, and over here you have minus 4x into tan pi by 4 plus x divided by 1 minus tan pi by 4 plus x, or x plus pi by 4. So now what can we write this as? We can write this as minus pi by 2 to 0, minus 4, let's take it common outside, x into 1 plus tan x upon 1 minus tan x divided by 1 minus 1 plus tan x upon 1 minus tan x. Okay, very well. Now let's try to simplify this as much as possible. So denominator ko I can write this as minus pi by 2 to 0, x into 1 plus tan x whole upon 1 minus tan x divided by, what will I get? 1 minus tan x minus 1 minus tan x divided by 1 minus tan x, right everyone? So 1 minus tan x will get cancelled out over here. This 1 and minus 1 will also get cancelled out over here, and there's a minus 4 present outside as well. So overall, what does this simplify out into? You'll get integral minus 4 minus pi by 2 to 0, and you have x into 1 plus tan x divided by minus 2 tan x. X into 1 plus tan x divided by minus 2 tan x. Okay, so over here this I can cancel it out. I'll get a 2 over here. Okay, 2 times integral minus pi by 2 to 0. What do we have? Let's break it out. X upon tan x, and you have plus x tan x upon tan x, basically x. Okay, so x to one good integral which we can directly find out over here. So I can rewrite this as integral minus pi by 2 to 0, 2 times x upon tan x plus 2 times, what is the integral over here? X ka integral will be directly x square by 2. Put in the limits minus pi by 2 to 0 over here. Okay, put in the limits minus pi by 2 to 0 over here. You can get the value at this point. Minus of minus jo hai 0, minus of minus, you'll get the pi square by 4. Yeah, x square, that 2 will get cancelled out. Pi square by 4 minus pi square by 4 wala jo value hai, that is this part minus pi square by 4. Okay. So that's well and good. Now let's focus on this integral, which is 2 times This is already done. Rest of the part is done. So we now just have to focus on integral minus 2 times 0 minus pi by 2 to 0 x. You can write this as x into cot x dx. You can write this as x into cot x dx. Okay. So now how do we integrate x into cot x dx? We'll use biparts. We'll use biparts over here. But before using biparts, can we slightly manipulate and simplify this limits over here? Do that a bit later on as well, but I prefer doing it right now only. First of all, I put a minus sign. What is the change I'm going to do? So I have minus pi by 2 to 0 x upon tan x. First things what, I'll put a minus sign and I will flip the limits 0 to minus pi by 2 x upon tan x over here. Then what will I do? I'll put minus x is equal to t. I'll put what? Minus x is equal to t. So dt dx ke saath this minus x gets involved and that becomes your dt, and you will get x t upon tan t, no changes, t upon tan t, because minus t tan of minus t, both of them cancel out. Limit changes to 0 to pi by 2. So this was basically what we are trying to do, 0 to pi by 2 tan t upon tan t, or I can say 0 to pi by 2 x upon tan x dx. So the idea was to flip just this limit. Idea was to just flip this limit as 0 to pi by 2. Okay, for x upon tan x, that's perfectly fine. Okay. Now let's focus on this, integrating this out. Integral 0 to pi by 2, 2 times that minus pi square by 4 ko we'll keep it aside. See, anyways, in all of the options, in 3 of the options, there is minus pi square by 4. The option B ko we can anyways eliminate. We just have to focus on the remaining part, that is integral x cot x. How will we integrate this? I can say this is x into integral cot x is what? Ln sin x, right? From 0 to pi by 2. Minus integral of derivative of x is 1 into ln sin x ka integral from 0 to pi by 2 over here. This part in its entirety becomes simply 0. And now this over here, integral 0 to pi by 2 ln sin x. This is classic integral. All of you should remember this. I believe you have solved as well in class. So 0 to pi by 2 ln sin x. What is the idea over here? We convert this as using King's rule. We can write this as 0 to pi by 2 ln cos x over here. Right? Sin pi by 2 minus x becomes ln of cos x over here. Then adding the two of them gives you 2i is equal to integral 0 to pi by 2 ln sin 2x minus ln2, because we have created, to create that sin 2x, we add an extra ln2 over here. Then you use 2a minus x wala property over here into sin pi by 2 minus x में to change out the limit over here, or rather 2x is equal to t, you substitute and then recreate the original integral equal to integral 0 to pi by 2 wala form. Right? I believe you should remember this standard limit. What is this equal to? This we know that this integral 0 to pi by 2 ln sin x is equal to minus pi by 2 into ln2. Okay, this is a classic integral. All of you should remember this as well. Okay? Minus pi by 2 ln2 over here. The steps I've shown over here. This convert, substitute 2x is equal to t, 0 to pi by 4 ln sin t you will get, and then using the 2a minus x wala property over here, you can convert out the question directly. Okay, so now what we have is now that we have gotten this 0 to pi, ln sin t you will get, and then over there using which property? Queen's rule you can use, and you can convert that into directly ln sin x ka integral format. Okay, acha. Minus pi by 2 ln2, if you substitute this over here, you'll get 2 times minus of minus pi by 2 into ln2 ka format. Cancels out, you'll get pi into ln2 over here. Okay? So what is the final answer? Pi ln2 and that minus pi square by 4, which was there earlier. Let me just try this over here again. Minus pi square by 4, minus pi square by 4, minus pi square by 4. I believe there should be such an option. Yeah, pi into ln2 minus pi square by 4. Option C will be the answer for this question. Now this was a proper lengthy question. This was a proper lengthy question, which I would recommend at least initially not getting into this question. Okay? At least initially I would recommend not getting into this question. Very lengthy, extremely calculative question. Towards the later part, if you have some extra time, you can go for this, but at least initial bit, I'd say that kind of stay away from this question. Not one where it's worth putting your effort in. Okay? Chala, let's move on. Let's have a look at the next question. What do we have? We have a function f of x. It's a polynomial of degree 4. F of 1 is given to you as 7, and it attains its local minima at minimum value is given to you as 3 at the point x is equal to 2 and x is equal to 3. Here this is x equal to 2 and x equal to 3. Something like this. We don't know where it is. Yeah, obviously it's going to pass somewhere or the other to the x-axis. Let me draw something like this. Or rather, let's let it pass somewhere later. Okay, minimum value jo hai, local minimum value, that's equal to 3 is also given to you. Okay, that's equal to 3 is also given to you. So anytime you have such a biquadratic expression, a simple way of assuming this is I can say that the f of x is some k into x minus 2 ka square, x minus 3 ka square plus 3. Why? Because see, at both 2 and 3, I'm getting the value equal to 3. And can you look at this, that when you differentiate this expression, you will get x equal to 2 and x equal to 3 as part of the solution of this expression as well. Why? Because when you differentiate, when you use product rule, you get 2 into x minus 2, x minus 3 ka square plus 2 into x minus 3, x minus 2 ka square. So in both the cases, at 2 and 3, the value is going to be equal to 0 as well. So this is a standard way of assuming the function that, okay, it can be k into x minus 2 ka square, x minus 3 ka square plus 3. 3 because the minimum value is equal to 3. Acha. Now over here, now how do I get the value of k? Use the fact that f of 1 is equal to 7. So f of 1 will be equal to what? It is k into minus 1 ka square into 2 ka square plus 3 over here. This is the expression which is given to you over here. So basically 4k plus 3 is equal to 7. So k is equal to 1. So I can say that my k ka value is equal to 1. So basically what is my function? My function f of x I can say is equal to x minus 2 the whole square into x minus 3 the whole square plus 3. Now if I differentiate, I need to find the local maxima value over here. Where does the local maxima rise? So f dash of x, if I differentiate this, 3 ka derivative to 0 hai. What I'll get is 2 into x minus 2, x minus 3 ka square plus 2 into x minus 3, x minus 2 ka square. Can you see this in both the cases? Yes, I'm able to create that 0 wala form over here. Plus 0 is the form. Now what I will do is I will take this x minus 2, x minus 3 common. So 2 into x minus 2, x minus 3, I'll take it common. What am I left with? X minus 3 from the first part and x minus 2 from the second part. X minus 3 plus x minus 2 over here. So what do I get? I'll get 2 into x minus 2, x minus 3 into 2x minus 5 ka format over here, which means x is equal to 5 by 2, which means I can say over here that x is equal to 5 by 2 is the point of maxima over here. X equal to 5 by 2 is the point of maxima over here. And if this is the point of maxima, what is the maximum value? F of 5 by 2 is what you have to find. F of 5 by 2 will be equal to 5 by 2 minus 2 ka square, that is minus 1 by 2 the whole square, into 5 by 2, sorry, plus 1 by 2 the whole square, and then 5 by 2 minus 3 ka square, this is minus 1 by 2 ka whole square, plus 3. That's equal to 1 by 16 plus 3, which is equal to 48 plus 1, 49 by 16. Hope that's such an option. Yes, 49 by 16. Option A will be the answer for this question. Again, this is a question I'd recommend you again skip it a bit towards the end. Try to solve this question a bit later on rather than getting into this very initially. Okay? Because there's a lot of assumption, a bit more of calculation wala approach which is present in this particular question. Rather focus on solving it a bit later on. Okay? Chalo, moving on. Let's have a look at another one. So what do we have over here? So you have the curves y equal to ln x upon x and y equal to lambda x square. They're said to touch each other. Then what is the value of lambda? See, touch each other means that they're touching each other and their slopes are also equal. So there are two conditions here. One is, yes, they are meeting. So that's ln x upon x is equal to lambda x square. And then they're just meeting at one point, meaning their slopes are also equal. So what is the derivative over here? Derivative will be 1 by x into x minus ln x divided by x square is equal to 2 lambda x is equal to 2 lambda x. So I can replace this lambda x as ln x upon x square. 2 into ln x upon x square. This is equal to 1 minus ln x upon x square. X square gets cancelled out. You have 3 times ln x is equal to 1, giving you ln x is equal to 3, giving you x is equal to e power, sorry, 1 by 3. X is equal to e power 1 by 3. But the question is, you need to find what? You need to find lambda over here. No worries. X ka value we have got. Substituting, you'll get 1 by 3 divided by e power 1 by 3 is equal to lambda into e power 2 by 3. So 1 by 3 equals to lambda into e power 1 by 3, e power 2 by 3 is e. So lambda is equal to 1 upon 3e. Lambda will be equal to 1 upon 3e. Option B will be the answer for this question. Okay? Very simple, straightforward question. Option B will be the answer over here for this one. Okay? Basic manipulation is all that is needed over here. Alrighty, moving on. Okay, let's have a look at the next one. What do we have over here? Limit x tending to infinity, e upon 1 minus e into 1 by e minus x upon 1 plus x, whole power x is alpha. Okay, power is infinity. What do we have inside over here? So this x upon 1 plus x, that will be tending towards 1, right? When x is tending to infinity, x upon x plus 1 will be tending to 1. So what we have is e upon 1 minus e multiplied by 1 by e minus 1. So that's basically 1 minus e upon e. So basically this is a 1 power infinity form. This is directly a 1 power infinity form. And 1 power infinity form, we know how to deal with it. I'll write this as e power limit x tending to infinity. Whatever is present inside over here, let's multiply this term. I will get 1 upon 1 minus e minus xe upon 1 minus e into 1 plus x. Okay? Minus 1 into x. Basically the entire term which is present inside, that's 1 plus f of x power g of x we need, right? So f of x into g of x when you're looking for, that f of x is the term, the base. From that base you are putting a minus 1 over here into x. Okay, now let's try to find this limit over here. The denominator LCM is 1 plus x, so I can get something like 1 plus x minus xe minus 1 minus e into 1 plus x, that is minus of 1 plus x minus e minus xe divided by 1 minus e into 1 plus x multiplied by x over here. Okay? Multiplied by x over here. This is what the overall expression is more or less going to look like. So the moment we have now got this expression over here, what can I do? I can, let's simplify this out. What all terms are getting simplified? I can cancel 1, 1. I can cancel x and x. I can cancel xe and x. Oh, that's very well. Most of the terms are anyways gotten cancelled out. You have e upon 1 minus e multiplied by x upon 1 plus x ka format. These are constants, right? E power, this is the expression, limit extending to infinity. Can I say directly, limit extending to infinity mein, this x upon 1 plus x will be tending to 1. Meaning that your final alpha ka jo value hai, that is coming out as simply e power e upon 1 minus e. So what is ln alpha coming out as? Ln of alpha is equal to e upon 1 minus e. And this is what we need over here at ln alpha upon 1 plus ln alpha ka value. How can we get this? So ln alpha, which is e upon 1 minus e, divided by 1 plus ln alpha, that is divided by 1 plus e upon 1 minus e. What is this? This is e upon 1 minus e divided by 1 minus e plus e upon 1 minus e. Cancel, 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 cancel. Final answer should be e, which is the answer for this question. Okay, everyone? So the entire idea was using a bit 1 power infinity limit ka format, getting the limit, finding ln alpha ka value, and using that to get the ln alpha upon 1 plus ln alpha ka value. Okay, that's the entire process. All right, moving on. Okay, what do we have over here? Integral x power 4 minus x whole power 1 by 4 divided by x power minus 5 dx. Guys, this is a very standard type of question. We know that whenever we have higher roots or powers or anything in the numerator, most cases, what we have to do is take the highest power common outside. So we take x power 4 common, because of power 1 by 4, it will come out as x. So x into 1 minus 1 upon x cube power 1 by 4 divided by x power 5. I can cancel this out, write it as x power 4. And now this is very good. Why? Because I can say that this entire 1 minus 1 upon x cube, I can go for the substitution. Either I can put that this is equal to t power 4, or I can simply go for the standard substitution as well. Either way works. Let's use t power 4 to get a bit less calculation. So what can I say over here? I can say now that minus minus plus 3 upon x power 4 dx jo hai, that is equal to 4t cube. That is equal to 4t cube dt over here. So this dx divided by x power 4, I can replace that as 4t cube dt divided by 3 into t. That's it. Into t ka integral is what we are looking for over here. So 4 by 3 go take it common outside. Take the 4 by 3 common outside, and what you have is you have integral t power 4 dt. What is the integral of t power 4? It is t power 5 upon 5. So 4 into t power 4. 5 into 3 is 15 plus the constant of integration. This is what you will have. 4 into t power 5 upon 15 plus the constant of integration. What is t power 5? So t is equal to 1 minus 1 upon x cube power 1 by 4. So if you take a power 5, it will become 5 by 4. So basically what you have is 4 by 15 into 1 minus 1 upon x cube power 5 by 4. So 4 by 15 into 1 minus 1 upon x cube power 5 by 4. Option A is the answer for this question. Plain and simple, very basic question. Okay? Option A will be the answer over here. Go ahead, everyone. Wonderful, plain and simple, straightforward question. Okay, let's take a look at the next one. What do we have here? Find the general solution of this differential equation dy by dx plus y ln y upon x equals to y ln y ka square upon x square. So this is a differential equation, believe looks like a reducible to linear differential equation ka form. Let's do one thing. Let's create just a function on the right side. Let's divide by y ln y ka square on both the sides. So 1 upon y into ln y ka square dy by dx plus I'll get 1 upon ln y into x equals to 1 upon x square equals to 1 upon x square, just by dividing. And then what I will do is this 1 upon ln y wala jo term hai na, this 1 upon ln y wala term, let's substitute this as t. So ln y power minus 1, how will I differentiate this? I'll get minus ln y power minus 2 into 1 upon y dy is equal dy by dx is equal to dt by dx. So basically what is this? This is minus of 1 upon y into ln y ka square dy by dx is equal to dt by dx. So I can say that 1 upon y ln y ka square dy by dx is what? That is minus dt by dx. That is minus dt by dx plus t upon x is equal to 1 upon x square. So multiply this minus sign throughout. Multiply this minus sign throughout. And I've got a format of dt by dx minus t upon x is equal to minus 1 upon x square. Now finally we have got a standard format which we can play around with. A linear differential equation. We have gotten p is equal to what? Minus 1 upon x. So integrating factor will be e power integral minus 1 upon x dx over here, which is e power minus of ln x, or I can say ln x power minus 1. That's equal to 1 by x. So integrating factor is what? That's equal to 1 by x over here. So what is the general solution? It will be t into integrating factor. T into 1 by x is equal to integral q into integrating factor. Integral, what is q? Q is minus 1 upon x cube, x square into integrating factor plus c. So you have t upon x. What was your t? T was y ln y. 1 upon ln y, right? So 1 upon x into ln y is equal to, what is the integral over here? Minus 1 upon x cube ka integral jo hai, that will be minus of x power minus 3 plus 1 divided by minus 3 plus 1 ka format plus the constant of integration. This is the format that you're going to be left off with finally over here. So what do we have? We have 1 upon x into ln y is equal to x power minus 2 divided by minus 2, minus minus you can cancel. Yeah, this is the format that you have. So that's the answer for this question. Which option whether is 1 upon ln y everywhere. So I can write this 1 upon ln y equals to 1 upon 2x plus cx. 1 by 2x plus cx. Yes, option C should be the answer. Perfect. Option C is the answer for this question. Okay. Again, this is a bit of a calculative, reducible to linear differential equation question. Again, I recommend solving this a bit later. Not a very easy direct question. So rather keep it to a bit of a later time after you're done with all your easy questions. Then if you have time, try this one out. Again, not a question you should get into initially. Okay. Now what do we have here? This is a simple question. Again, directly write this as tan inverse. What is 2 tan theta? It is 2 tan inverse of x, 2x upon 1 minus x square, 1 minus 1 upon 16 over here, minus, what is pi by 4? Tan inverse of 1 over here. Right? So I'll get tan inverse, what is this? 2 by 4, that is 1 by 2 divided by 15 by 16 over here. So that becomes what? 8 by 15 minus tan inverse of 1 over here. Minus tan inverse of 1 over here. So what is this? This is tan inverse, and in all of the cases ITF wala basic conditions are being satisfied over here. Your product xy is something that's greater than 1, so no minus 1, so no major issues are being greater than minus 1, so no major issues are being popped over here. So 8 by 15 minus 1 divided by 1 plus 1 into 8 by 15 ka format over here. Okay? So this is what you will get. So what do you have over here? You have something on the lines of tan inverse of minus 7 by 15 divided by 23 by 15. So basically tan inverse of minus 7 by 15 divided by 23 by 15. That's tan inverse minus 7 by 23. That's directly minus 7 by 23. Option C will be the answer for this question. Simply property, addition and sum and difference of tan in ITF is all that you have to use over here. Okay, very simple, straightforward question. Moving on. Another very easy is in the middle there were some 4-5 questions which were very calculative, very difficult, which you should have actually skipped. And now over here, if you look at this, there are some very easy questions which should have been solved definitely. So if you started solving one after other, you would get stuck over there. You would spend a lot of time on those questions. You might have missed these very easy, straightforward questions. That's why always go through the entire paper quickly. Okay? So here what do you have? 2 pi by 3 is in the second quadrant. Sine is positive in the second quadrant. Cos is negative in the second quadrant. So your y is what? Sin x minus cos x. Differentiate this. What do you get? Cos x minus of minus plus sin x over here. What is this? What is cos 2 pi by 3? Cos of pi minus pi by 3 is minus cos pi by 3, which is minus 1 by 2. Sin pi minus pi by 3 is plus sin pi by 3, which is root 3 by 2. So what do you have? You have root 3 minus 1 upon 2. Option A is the answer. Okay? Straightforward. Option A will be the answer for this question. But yeah, moving on. Standard deviation of the following data. Pure calculative question, nothing else. We know the formula of standard deviation. It is root of summation fi xi square upon n minus summation fi xi upon n ka whole square. That's it. So what will be the standard deviation? I can say that standard deviation is equal to root of, you will keep on adding this frequency 3 into 4 plus 4 into 9 and so on and so forth till 11 into 100 divided by the total number of observations, that is 3 plus 4 till 11, minus, then you will have 3 into 2 plus 4 into 3, so on and so forth till 11 into 10 divided by 3 plus 4 till 11 ka whole square. This is a pure calculation question, nothing else. Yeah. As you can see over here, it's a pure calculative question. Just have to keep on finding those values, add them up. 77200 minus 65530. I'd recommend this is the question which I'll say you can skip. See, standard deviation ka with data, if using summation formula or any type of data manipulation question is there, it's a very easy question. But when you have such expressions where it's a pure numbers game, and when the option are also like 2.6, 2.7, 2.8, 2.9, then the margin of error is very little. You make a small calculation mistake, you'll end up losing that marks, right? So it's better to kind of keep these questions like to the very last. If you have done with everything, you're not even able to think of any other question, and then you think, I have some time, I can just purely do blank mundane calculation, then you can try this. Okay? Otherwise, I'd recommend not really going for this. Okay, what do we have next? So we need to analyze this function x upon 1 plus x square. Let's try to draw the graph of this expression. Let's get the basic nature of this function over here. So first things first, f of 0 is equal to 0. At infinity, it is tending to 0. At minus infinity also, the function is tending towards 0. Negative value paired is negative, positive value paired is positive. Okay. There's only one point where the function is cutting the x-axis. So for all the positive region, it is present above the x-axis. For all the negative region, it is present below the x-axis. That is also for certain. Okay, now let's just do the f dash of x. Let's check where is the slope giving us some data. So you'll get 1 plus x square, derivative of x is 1, minus x into 2x divided by 1 plus x square ka whole square. Okay. So what is this? This is 1 minus x square upon 1 plus x square ka whole square over here. So what are the critical points? The critical points are minus 1 and plus 1. Minus 1 and plus 1. Now look at this. Directly can I say that if I have to go over here towards 0, then after coming up, I will be going down, and over here after coming up, I will be going down over here. Because I know that at infinity and minus infinity, the function has to tend towards 0. So this is the basic nature of the graph. You know, a bit better. So at 1, it achieves its maximum, then it starts decreasing. Again, over here, minus 1 paired achieves its minima, and then it starts decreasing. So what is the maxima at 1? Value at 1 is 1 by 2. Value at minus 1 is minus 1 by 2. So I can say that the function does have a range from minus 1 by 2 to 1 by 2. So it is surjective. But if you talk about injectivity, no. It is repeating values at multiple points. It is not injective, but it is surjective. So option B, surjective but not injective, will be the answer for this question. Okay? Pretty simple, basics of question. Moving on. Find the number of distinct values of lambda for which these lines are coplanar. Coplanar lines directly x2 minus x1, y2 minus y1, z2 minus z1, a1 b1 c1, a2 b2 c2 equal to 0. So 3 minus 1 is 2, 2 minus 2 is 0, 1 minus of minus 3 will be equal to 2 over here. And then what do you have? Oh, then 1 minus of plus 4. 1 minus of minus 3, 4. Okay, then what do you have? 1, 2 lambda square, 1 lambda square 2. This is equal to 0. Let's create two zeros. Let's go for rho 2 becomes rho 2 minus rho 1 divided by 2, and rho 3 may also let's do the same thing. Rho 3 minus rho 1 by 2. So what will I get? I'll get 204. 1 minus 2 by 2, that is 0. 2 minus 0, that is 2. Lambda square minus 2. Then over here 2 minus 1, 0. Lambda square minus 0, lambda square. 2 minus 2 is again 0. So we have got quite a lot of zeros. This is equal to 0. Opening this about column 1, what will I get? I'll get 2 into 0 minus lambda square into lambda square minus 2. This is equal to 0. So what does this mean? Lambda square into lambda square minus 2 is 0. So I can have lambda equal to 0 plus root 2 minus root 2. So basically I have 3 distinct values of lambda for which these two lines are coplanar. Okay. So 0, root 2 and minus root 2. Option A is the answer for the question. Okay, everybody? Plain and simple basics of question. Okay, moving on. Achha, what do we have here? A1, A2, A3, it's an arithmetic progression. A1 plus A8 till A1 plus A8 plus A15 is given. Achha, over here, can I say that A1, A2, A3 till A15 if I have, I can say sum of first term and last term is equal to second term and second last term is equal to third term and third last term. Up until the middle term, A8 is the middle term. So 2 times A8 I will get. Okay. 7 plus 6 and then 2 times middle term I will get A8. So over here, A1 plus A15, if I put it as 2A8 plus A8 is basically 3 times A8 is equal to 15, which means A8, the middle term, is equal to what? 5. Now, you have been asked to find A2 plus A14, which is equal to 2A8, plus A3 plus A13, which is also equal to 2A8, plus 8, which is equal to 5A8. A8 is equal to 5. I get 5 into 5, 25 as the answer for this question. Okay. So 25 will be the answer over here. Very simple. Direct sum question. No need to even use find first term common difference anything. Just sum of first term and last term is equal to sum of second last term. Sum of terms equidistant from beginning and end are equal. That's the entire property. Okay. Moving on. Smallest natural number which satisfies this inequality. Okay. Modulus lying between two numbers. I mean, there are two possibilities. X lying between -3 and -1. I don't really have to worry about this because there are no natural numbers involved in this. I hope you are able to see this. X between -2 and 0. There's no natural numbers. So no need to think about this. I'll directly go for x minus 1 lying between 1 and 3. That is x lying between 2 and 4. Yeah. Over here, this is the suitable solution range. And what is the smallest natural number solution? That's 2. Interior type questions are relatively very easy. At least these two are extremely simple questions. Okay. Moving on. Okay, what do we have here? We have a function sine inverse x plus pi by 2 between -1 and 0. ln x plus 1 minus pi, ln mod of x plus 1 minus pi between 0 to pi, okay, and mod of sin x between pi to 4 pi. Points where the function is not differentiable. Very well. Let's draw the graphs only for this one. Okay. So sine inverse x ka graph we know. This is the graph of sine inverse of x. But then you need to increase it by from 0 to pi, -1 to 0. This is how the graph looks like. But then you are adding pi by 2 to it. Okay. So when you're adding pi by 2 to it, it will go up like this. So this is the graph of sine inverse of x plus pi by 2. No problem. It is differentiable everywhere. There's no issues with this whatsoever. Okay. Now we have ln mod x plus 1 minus pi. So we know the graph of ln mod x looks like this. This is what the graph of ln mod x looks like. Whatever we have on the right side, we just, whatever on the negative value, we just flip it over to the positive value. On the, whatever we have on the positive value, we flip the same over the negative value. This is the graph of ln mod of x. But here what you have is, here you have ln mod of x minus pi minus 1. You have x minus pi minus 1. So what this means is you have to shift your graph by pi minus 1 unit to the right. You're shifting your graph by pi minus 1 unit to the right over here. So from 1, if you go pi minus 1 unit, where do you reach? You reach pi. Can you see this, everyone? Pi minus 1 to the right, if you go, you will reach the point pi over here. Okay. So pi pe, your graph is looking like this. And over here, basically this is what the graph looks like at pi. Like this, and then for the rest of the region. So at x is equal to 0, what are you getting? ln mod 1 minus pi, it will be something slightly less than 0. Okay. So this is basically the graph of ln mod x minus pi minus 1. Basically ln mod x I've shifted by pi minus 1 unit to the right. Okay, but now this is not the function which we have to take everywhere, right? I don't have to consider this everywhere. This function is only true between 0 to pi. So between 0 to pi is the only region where I need to consider this function. Perfect. After that, what do I have? From pi to 4 pi, I have mod of sin x. Mod of sin x is what? Just x shape, right? Mod of sin x, pi, 2 pi, 3 pi, 4 pi. Perfect. Now, how many points I can see is definitely the function is not differentiable. First is this 0. Second is this point pi minus 1. Second is this point pi minus 1. Third is this 2 pi. And fourth is this 3 pi. So I know for a matter of fact that there are 4 points where the function is definitely not differentiable. Now, one point which is dicey is pi. I need to check what is happening at pi. Continuous to hai. Function is continuous, no worries. Is it differentiable also? We'll have to check. So what is the derivative of ln mod x minus 1 minus pi? It will be 1 upon x plus 1 minus pi. Then no need to apply chain rule because x plus 1 minus pi ka derivative is 1 only. Put x is equal to pi over here. What do you get? You get 1 upon 1. 1. Okay. Left hand derivative is 1. What is the derivative of sine? Achha, now over here, be careful. So 0, pi, 2 pi. To flip this up, the definition here is minus sin x. So what is the derivative of minus sin x? It is minus cos x. Minus cos x, when you put x equals to pi, what do you get? You get cos of pi is minus 1. Minus of minus 1, it is 1. So over here, actually your right hand derivative and left hand derivative are equal, meaning pi is the point where the function is actually differentiable. So you only have 0, pi minus 1, 2 pi, and 3 pi. So basically 4 points where the function is not differentiable. So 4 points where the function is not differentiable is the answer for this question. Okay? Hope the idea is clear, everyone. Moving on. What do we have here? You have 8 cards and 8 envelopes. 1, 2, 3 till 8. The cards are to be placed in the envelope in such a way that every envelope has only 1 card and no card is placed in an envelope bearing the same number. Okay. So if just this was there, we would have directly gone for derangement of 8, right? 1 minus 1 upon 1 factorial plus 1 upon 2 factorial. I'd have directly done derangement and the question was done. But then they have given one extra condition. Moreover, the cards numbered 2 and 4 are always placed in the envelopes 1 and 3. This is a problem. Why is this a problem? Because let's consider these as the envelopes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's name them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, what they have mentioned is that the card number 2 is put in envelope number 1 and card number 4 is put in envelope number 3. Now, what happens because of this is that your card number 1 and your card number 3, they have no correct place. Can you see this? They actually have no correct place. Meaning you can put them anywhere. They're not going to cause any problem whatsoever. So I cannot directly just say derangement of 6. Why? Because it is not necessary that 1 should not come at the place 2 or 3 should not come at the place 4. There's no such condition. They can be anywhere. So we have to actually break along the cases of card 1 and card 3. We have to break along the cases of card 1 and card 3. Okay? So how will I break it? Let's first of all put some condition on card 1. Let's say card 1 lies in envelope 2, or your card 1 doesn't lie in envelope 2. These are the two classifications. Achha, card 1 I have fixed at envelope 2 because some place I need to start, right? Some analysis, some logic I have to start with for card 1. If I have placed card 1 in envelope 2, just to ensure that these cases are taken, that's why I'm doing this separately. I cannot just do derangement of 6. Now I need to talk about card 3 and card envelope 4 ke liye. Card 1 is in the envelope 3 and card 3 I'm saying it is present in the envelope 4. Card 3 ko I have put in the envelope 4. So card 1 is coming here, card 3 is coming the 4th envelope. Now remaining 5, 6, 7, 8 ko jo hai, they are all at the wrong places. I need to ensure, so I will just derange them. So what is the derangement? Derangement of 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 ka derangement I will consider that. Now card 1 I have put in envelope 2. Let me say that card 3 is not present in envelope 4. I need to take this case also, right? Card 3 is not present in envelope 4. If card 3 is not present in envelope 4, then I will again do the derangement of all 5 of them. Including card 3, I will do the derangement of all 5 of them. Assuming card 3 is not present at 4th place. Because I have considered the present at 4th place wala case, now I'll assume it is not there. So I'm giving it a incorrect place. It's a 3, it has given an unofficial place of 4. As I've already considered the case where card number 3 is present in envelope 4, I don't have to worry about this. I derange these 5. I get the other cases. Now, if card 1 does not lie in the envelope 2, again now inside this case, what if card 3 is present in envelope 4? So now here what happens is, I've placed the card 3 in envelope 4. I've placed the card 3 in envelope 4, but card 1 pe there is no condition. Card 1 pe there is no condition. Card 1 can come here, card 1 can come here, anywhere card 1 can come. So then 1 ka unofficial place I will consider as 2. Unofficial place I will consider as 2, and I am deranging 2, 5, 6. Basically card number 1, 5, 6, 7, 8. I am deranging these 5. And then finally I will take the case where card 1 is not coming at 2, card 3 is also not coming at 4. Card 3 is not coming at envelope 4. Then I am deranging all 6 of them as an entirely different case. So what we have done here is, normally if you just do derangement of 6, you will miss those initial cases where card 1 is coming in the 2nd place, card 3 is coming in the 4th place. You will miss those cases. Are you able to understand? Because derangement ke liye we ensure that 1 will never come at 2, 3 will never come at 4. But we don't want that. We know that 1 can come at the 2nd place, 3 can come at the 4th place, no problem. So we have to take the cases. And you will add all 4 of them. Derangement of 4 plus derangement of 5 plus derangement of 5 plus derangement of 6 comes out as 362. Comes out as 362. You just have to, I hope everyone knows how to find the derangement, right? So 4 ka derangement will be 1 minus 1 upon 1 factorial plus 1 upon 2 factorial minus 1 upon 3 factorial plus 1 upon 4 factorial. This is the basic idea. This is how you can get derangement of 4. Similarly, derangement of 5 and 6 you can find. Add them up, gives you the answer. Okay. Moving on. What do we have here? 5 coins are tossed simultaneously. If the probability of obtaining exactly 2 heads is lambda, exactly 2 heads, 5C2, select any 2 places for the heads and ensure that the 2 of them are heads and 3 of them are tails. So basically 1 by 2, 1 by 2, 1 by 2, 1 by 2, 1 by 2 power 5. What is 5C2? That is 10 divided by 2 power 5 is 32, which is 5 by 16. 5 by 16, lambda is equal to 5. That's the answer for the question. That is the answer for the question. Okay, everyone, so lambda will be equal to 5. So this was a very easy question. So I could say that the derangement wala question, this is a bit tedious. Thinking about all these cases becomes a little difficult. But yeah, remaining, I'd say, okay, this one also, if you're not so well used to graphs, you might not be able to solve this. But the remaining 3 questions of integer type were like very simple. Even the MCQs also, I believe that most of the questions were still doable, except for some 4-5 questions which were a bit calculated. I've mentioned which you could have skipped. Rest of the questions were very easily solvable. So this, I will say, it's a good paper, good level of paper, which kind of JEE does ask you similar levels of paper itself. So it's a good practice if you are able to get good marks in this exam. Okay. So yeah, I hope all your doubts were cleared out. I'll see you in some other session. Bye guys. Have a good day, everyone.